Chapter 168. The night passed quickly. Zhang Xiaobao slept soundly by the side of the bed, but the young master on the other side had a dream the entire night. He dreamt that he had taken over the Zhang and Wang families' farmstead, and even chased away the two families. He woke up laughing several times in his dream. Li Sun woke up early in the morning with a backpack on his back. He didn't know what to put in it, so he only put a blanket and a few handkerchiefs. He couldn't remember anything else. He didn't think that he could use the things on the grassland in the desert. After all, there weren't so many insects in the desert, and there weren't any wild herbs. What he wanted to know the most now was what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan brought. He could have asked them yesterday, but he was so angry that he forgot about it. Now, he couldn't ask them directly, so he could only follow them and see what they would do. Today, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan changed into a pair of shoes designed by the two of them. The original shoes with wooden soles were discarded, and the shoes with leather soles were also discarded. Instead, they specially got someone to make some shoes with tattered cloth soles. They even used fish glue to glue some small lumps at the bottom. Each of them had their own backpack. They wore bamboo hats on their heads, and the clothes they wore were also long-sleeved. At the same time, they also brought some saltpeter, which was the highest purity here, and some salt. They didn't bring any other food, because it would be found out if they did. After a round of inspection, a few people who wanted to bring some food were warned to leave their things behind. The team then walked into the desert. Some people left, and some new people joined. The total number of people didn't decrease, but increased by more than 10. There were relatively fewer young people, only 45 people. When more than 140 children entered the desert, more than 50 of them rushed out. The other 80 people didn't run like crazy. They all looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan at almost the same time. "Cuckoo, it seems that they are not as stupid as they were on the grassland," Zhang Xiaobao said to Wang Wan with a smile when he felt the eyes around him. "Well, these people must be the ones on the grassland. It seems that we are being watched. Let's go. The next place with water is 3 miles away. Tie the rope." Wang Wan glanced at those people. As she spoke, she took out a rope and tied it around her and Zhang Xiaobao's waist. Firstly, it was to prevent quicksand. Even if Li Sun would definitely send people to check on this area, they still had to be prepared and get used to it. Secondly, when climbing the sand pile, if one of them lost their footing and fell down, the other one could help. The two people once again walked forward, one in front of the other, and tried to keep their heels slightly off the ground. Wei Wei bent her legs and leaned forward. She even took out a retractable stick from her backpack and used it to move forward. Li Sun and the others didn't expect Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to be so prepared. They couldn't ask people to bring things over, so they could only follow behind. When they were puzzled, they felt that there was no need to use the stick. They could just walk directly, and the rope was unnecessary. Except for the children of the Li family in Zhuangzi, the others were all rich people. When they stepped on the sand, they felt very comfortable. The children of the Li family in Zhuangzi were also changed into leather boots by Li Sun, but they weren't as exquisite. As for the clothes, they were naturally made by the clothing company. As the crowd followed, their eyes swept over Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's backpack from time to time, hoping that they could take out their things as soon as possible. As for the children who were in the lead, they didn't care whether they fell behind or not. The parents of the new children didn't know about this situation. When they saw their children running to the front, they began to flatter each other, just like the parents in the grassland. The parents who had experienced the grassland had long since lost this idea. When they heard the words of others and recalled their own situation, they could only sigh that they were too short-sighted. The desert wasn't big, but it didn't lack sand dunes. Some of them existed alone, while others were connected. If one wanted to go around them, they would have to walk a long way. The children chose to climb directly. No one was willing to take a long detour. At this time, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's shoes showed their advantages. Even if the small bumps under the shoes couldn't firmly hold onto the ground, they wouldn't slide down like other people. The sticks in their hands played a big role. When inserted into the sand, they could borrow a little force to prevent their bodies from falling backward. Even if their feet slipped once, it wouldn't delay them. Li Cheng, did you see that? It turns out to be used like this. Li Sun saw from behind and said to the person who was following beside him. After he finished speaking, he realized that the person who was following him was not Li Cheng, but a person who was also doing chores, called Li Xing. Li Xing was not stupid enough to correct the young Marquis's name. He said next to him, "Young master, look at their shoes carefully. They are different from what we wear. There are some small bumps under them. Smart. Wait for me to prepare them tomorrow. This time, I don't know." "Good, learn more. You watch that kid over there. It's the family in Zhuangzi next to us and Zhang Wang's family. What's his name?" It seems that there is also a minor official, secondary 5th rank. He's not small. Li Sun nodded. After seeing the person who was pretending to be stupid, he was afraid that he would make trouble for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. After all, that person was older. If there was any danger, even if he dealt with that person, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan would be unhappy and leave. Then, where would he learn how to survive in the desert? Li Xing also noticed that person. His eyes were fixed on Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan in front of him. He replied, "I know, young master. That's a member of the Han family. His name is Han Yongyao." "Humph. Yongyao? Someone like him can forget about showing off. When we get back to Zhuangzi, there will be a show to watch. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Zhuangzi are not comparable to other Zhuangzi. The people in charge there are extraordinarily powerful. How far until we get to a place with water?" Li Ji looked down on that person from the bottom of his heart. He sneered, feeling that the sun was exceptionally bright today. He licked his lower lip with his tongue, looked up at the seemingly endless road in front of him, and asked, "What is it?" "Soon, we'll get there after walking this far. Today's lunch is the same as last time. If we don't give them food, I don't know how many people won't be able to persevere." "The desert is not like the grassland," Li Xing replied. He walked to the back, glancing at Han Yongyao from time to time. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan walked at the front. Their speed was not fast. When there was no water to replenish their energy, the two of them did not want to use too much energy. They wanted to wait until the water was filled. The more than 50 children did not seem to know the meaning of fatigue. They were still running with all their might. Some of the children even deliberately slid down the sand dunes slowly before running up. "Xiao Bao, do you think a scorpion will appear here? Or a snake or something? Then we'll have something to eat for lunch." Wang Wan climbed to a slightly higher sand dune and stood there, looking down and asking, "I don't think so." Li Sun must have already sent people to search for snakes in the sand. Most of them are poisonous. Why would he let people get bitten? "Do you want to go first, or should I?" Zhang Xiaobao stood beside Wang Wan and looked down at the road below. "Let's go together. Take out the things." Wang Wan replied. She opened the backpack with Zhang Xiaobao and took out a few wooden boards that were slightly narrower and shorter than the backpack. Wei Wei put them on the ground. The two of them sat on them, adjusted their positions, and used the wooden sticks in their hands to support themselves. The two of them quickly slid down. Li Sun and the others also went up the slope. When they saw Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's things, they were stunned for a moment. Then they looked at the two people who were about to reach the bottom. They had no choice but to run down. This was very strenuous. Some people could not control themselves and would even tumble to the bottom. Without waiting for Li Sun to speak, Li Xing said, "Young master, this little one understands. I will definitely make this tomorrow. Don't think that the children in front of us are playing. If they continue to walk, they will be exhausted. Things like this can save a lot of energy. And there is indeed some skill. Look at the two of them, they don't seem to be tired. Maybe we will let the two of them go first again today. Good, I learned another skill. In the future, when I encounter such things, I can be prepared in advance." Li Sun sighed as he took off his boots and poured out the sand. He really admired the person who prepared these things for the two children. Don't think that it was a small thing. When walking in the desert, it might be the difference between life and death. The others remembered this thing and also decided to use it tomorrow. Only Han Yongyao was not so clear. He was thinking of making trouble for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Unfortunately, perhaps because the food in his family was better, he was a little fat and could not catch up with them. He could only follow behind and gasp for breath. The parents behind them were also uncomfortable. Seeing the children climbing and rolling there, they were very distressed. The parents who came from the grassland had already remembered the tools used by Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan without their children remembering. Again, they sighed in their hearts. Looking at the two little guys' tacit cooperation, they felt that if they were their own children, they would definitely hold them in their arms and love them. They were too sensible and too strong. They had never seen the two of them say that they were tired, let alone expect to see them cry sadly. In their hearts, they could not help but envy the two's families. They did not know how they taught them. No matter how they looked at them, they felt that the two little guys were like adults. In addition, they were also cute, with chubby little faces, two dimples when they smiled, and a pair of eyes seemed to be able to talk. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not know that others wanted to take them for themselves. They went down the slope, installed the boards, and continued to move forward step by step. After a while, they reached the place where water was provided. Chapter 169. There was a supply of water every 3 li. If it was on flat ground, it would take less than a quarter of an hour to finish the 3 li journey. In this desert, it might be faster at the beginning. Half an hour was enough. Towards the end, it would take less than an hour. It was impossible to even think about it. The children who ran first had already reached the water supply station, but the children behind them were still walking slowly. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were not in a hurry, but they still slightly opened up the distance between them and the children behind them. One had a shoe, one had a stick, and one had a wooden board. After a few hills and descents, the advantage was obvious. When the two of them reached the first water supply station, only a dozen children who had arrived first were already on their way. The rest were playing with water here. At this time, the weather was not too hot. The children were holding water and playing with water, and laughter could be heard from time to time. They are all children. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head and said with emotion, "They are children. Have you ever seen a child this old be sensible? Oh, I forgot. The place you used to live doesn't count. Let's do it. Pour water, wet the towel and wrap it with oil paper. We should also cover our faces with something. When it gets hot later, try to reduce the loss of water as much as possible." Wang Wan had just refuted Zhang Xiaobao when she suddenly remembered Zhang Xiaobao's previous life. She could only think that it was the environment that affected his character. As the two of them talked, they took a few water bags. First, they wet a few large handkerchiefs that they brought. Then, they took out a few small paper bags from their backpacks, opened them, and poured the things inside into 2 water bags. "What are you pouring?" Li Sun rushed over at this time. Seeing the two of them busy there, he did not dare to ignore them. He came closer to see and ask, "So it is young Master Li. This is sugar, this is salt, and this is orange and apple powder. There are only 4 things, that's all." Zhang Xiaobao placed the things in front of Li Sun for him to see. There was not much powder, and it was not considered food, so it was not taken away. The main reason was that the people who checked it did not know what it was. At this time, Li Sun became very modest. He listened carefully and even put a little bit of it in his mouth to taste. He nodded and said, "Yes, these are the 4 things. Why did you bring these 4 things? Drink it with water to reduce the consumption of the body and replenish some of the things the body needs. We don't know what the things are, but we heard others say that you must put less salt. It's about 100 parts of water plus 1 part of salt. Don't put too much. The same goes for sugar. This is ice candy foam." Zhang Xiaobao explained the dosage to Li Sun in detail. The salt here was not pure, and the ratio of 100 parts to 1 part was about the same as normal saline. Li Sun memorized it. He had seen how many things the two of them had put in. He did not think that the two of them would lie to him at this time. There was no need for that. He then looked at the apple and orange powder. He pointed at them and asked, "How about these two? Can you put more?" "No, especially the orange powder. If you put too much, your stomach will feel uncomfortable, especially when there is nothing to eat at noon. Put a little bit." After answering this question, Zhang Xiaobao was ready to go. The towel was already wet, so he folded it and wrapped it with oil paper. He carefully put it into the backpack, took out 2 bags, put them on his head, and put on the bamboo hat. Everything was ready. "Wait a minute, why are you wearing these things on your head?" Li Sun looked at the bags on their heads, which only left holes for the eyes, mouth, and nose, and asked curiously. "When the sun rises, it will make people sweat, even their faces. Water, forget it, you won't understand even if I tell you. Just remember that this is a way to reduce the water in the body. Of course, you don't have to worry about it as long as you have enough water bags. We are used to it." After Zhang Xiaobao finished speaking, he no longer wanted to waste any more time with Li Sun. Together with Wang Wan, he rushed forward. Looking at the 2 leaving figures, Li Sun also began to prepare. He did not have other things, but he did have salt. He put a few water bags on his body and said to Li Xing next to him, "Remember the thing about the mask. This is the most important thing. You can ignore it when there is water, but when there is no water, you have to use it." "Yes, young master, don't worry. I understand," Li Xing answered seriously. He came here today to remember all the things that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan took out. He was not allowed to miss anything. It might not be a big deal in this kind of thing, but when it was used on soldiers one day, then he would know the benefits. The children later arrived. In order to maintain their advantage, the children in front started to run again. Behind all the children, the adults were also thirsty and hot. Today was a sunny day, so they also drank some water. Time passed quietly as the children moved forward. The position of the sun also changed. When they reached the 4th water station, it was almost noon. The children in front finally did not have the energy and strength to continue running. Each of them had a bitter expression on their faces as they moved forward bit by bit. At this time, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan found a place to stop. When they were lamenting that Li Sun had sent people to clean up the place, they looked at each other, smiled, and scattered to look for something. They did not know whether it was because there were no poisonous insects in this small desert, or because Li Sun's people had cleaned it up, but the 2 of them did not find a single one. Since there were no insects, they could only look for something that was not easy to clean up. After searching for a full quarter of an hour, there was finally a cheer from Wang Wan. Zhang Xiaobao quickly ran over and looked at the place in front of Wang Wan. "Sure enough, there are still ants. Not bad, this is not poisonous. Take out the candy, we will eat ants for lunch today." While talking, the 2 of them took out the candies from their backpacks and placed them in a small sand pit that they had dug out. They placed a flat wooden box diagonally there, filled it with some sugar water, and waited for the ants to come over. After doing all this, the 2 of them found a sand dune with its back to the sun and squatted there, waiting slowly. Li Sun finally caught up with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He saw them squatting there motionless, so he also squatted in front of them and felt that it was indeed cooler than before. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looked up at him, then lowered their heads and slowly adjusted their breathing, as if they were asleep. This made Li Sun even more curious. "What are you doing? Don't talk, it's exhausting." Zhang Xiaobao whispered and stopped talking. "Okay." Li Sun nodded seriously. He also followed the 2 of them and adjusted his breathing. As for the journey, he didn't care. As long as he could learn more, it didn't matter whether he was the first to arrive or not. After waiting for about half an hour, when Li Sun was about to fall asleep, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan stood up and walked to the side. Li Sun also stood up and asked in a daze, "Where are you going?" "Looking for food. If you don't eat lunch, how can you chase others?" Zhang Xiaobao didn't stop walking and threw a sentence. "Oh, looking for food. I'm really hungry." "What? Looking for food? There's food?" Li Sun said in a daze. Suddenly, he reacted and looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. His eyes were full of surprise. Looking for food on the grassland was one thing, after all, there were wild vegetables there. But in this desert, how could they find food? This was impossible, absolutely impossible. What else was there to eat here? It can't be sand, right? With a stomach full of shock and doubt, Li Sun quickened his pace to catch up with the two people. After turning a small corner, when the two people stopped and took out something from their backpacks, Li Sun was frightened by the scene in front of him. The sand in front of him was densely packed with countless ants, layer after layer. Some were carrying the sand there, and some were crawling in and out of the box. Looking carefully, he found that many ants were stuck in the box. At this time, Li Sun finally knew what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were looking for food. It turned out to be ants, but these ants were a little too big and ran very fast. He didn't know how the two of them were going to catch them. Could it be that just eating in the box was not enough? When he turned his head again, he saw Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan take out a paper bag. When he opened it, there was a powdery substance inside. He asked again, "What is this?" "Flour alkali, it's made after the flour is big." Zhang Xiaobao opened the water bag and replied to Li Sun. He poured some powder into his mouth, drank a mouthful, and rinsed his mouth vigorously. He dissolved the powder into water, then poured the rest of the powder into the water bag and shook it vigorously. After doing all this, Zhang Xiaobao glanced at Wang Wan. Wang Wan nodded with water in her mouth, indicating that she was ready. Then Li Sun saw a scene that he would never forget. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan began to spray water at the running ants from the periphery. After spraying a mouthful, the ants moved forward 2 steps, and then continued to spray. After spraying for a while, the two people walked to the box. Li Sun followed behind and was surprised to see the ants that were stained with water curl up into a ball. They struggled there for a while and then stopped moving. When Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao came close to the box, they picked it up and threw it away. They then sprayed a few mouthfuls of water on the spot and stopped. They took out a small broom from their backpack and gently swept the ground, waiting to sweep the dead ants into a pile and put them in another box. Li Sun was dumbfounded. There were 4 boxes full of ants. Finally, there was something to eat. He felt that since Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan could eat, he could eat too. Glancing at the box that was thrown away, he asked in puzzlement, "Why did you throw away that box?" "There are a lot of ants in it. Ants in the desert run fast. If we are targeted by them, we won't be able to rest. There are living ants in the box. When they go to other places, they will continue to call for other ants. We will be much more relaxed. If we can reduce the danger, it will reduce the danger." Zhang Xiaobao explained. Chapter 170. "Oh yes, you ran fast. You ran really fast just now. How are you going to eat these ants? Are you going to cook them with lime?" Li Sun tried to suppress the shock in his heart and asked again. In fact, he also wanted to ask if they could share some with him. He was also hungry. As for whether other people's saliva would stain the ants, he couldn't care less. Zhang Xiaobao looked up at the sky and touched the sand that was scorched by the sun. He nodded to Wang Wan and took out something from the backpack with Wang Wan. Li Sun now felt that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's backpack was a treasure bag. There were always strange things that could be used to survive in the wild. At this moment, he thought that he was already used to this kind of thing. "Let's roast it. I wonder if young Master Li would like to eat with us?" Zhang Xiaobao gestured with the thing in his hand and asked Li Sun. "Okay, I'm hungry too. How are we going to roast it? Did you bring firewood?" Li Sun couldn't understand what they were thinking. "We don't need firewood. Let's go. We'll stay away from these ants. We'll continue to move forward." Zhang Xiaobao called out and led the way. Wang Wan followed behind, and Li Sun did the same. Originally, there were other children, but when Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan squatted there, they couldn't wait and left. Only the 3 of them were left, along with the parents and a few guards behind them. In the desert, there was more than one path. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan deliberately took a long detour. As for whether there were other children behind them, they didn't know. After walking for half an hour, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan stopped. They touched the thing they took out, nodded, turned it over, and put it on the sand where the sun could shine. What is this? Could it be that he's an iron plate? Along the way, Li Sun would ask a few questions from time to time. At this moment, he began to think about this plank-like thing. Just now, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were holding it on his head. It was black in color, so he couldn't guess what it was. Now that it was on the ground, the other side looked like iron. Yes, it's an iron plate. It's used to roast ants. You'll be able to eat it in a while. This side is coated with ink. Zhang Xiaobao introduced the ants, then took them out and placed them on the iron plate to let the sun shine on them. From time to time, he would turn them over. When he felt that it was enough, he took Li Sun to a shady place. The 4 boxes of ants were divided into 3 portions. One portion was given to Li Sun. He and Wang Wan grabbed a handful with their hands and stuffed it into their mouths. When they chewed, they did indeed slow down, bit by bit. It was as if they couldn't wait to chew every crumb into several portions. Li Sun was now following suit. What Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did, he followed suit. He also stuffed a handful into his mouth and chewed carefully. From time to time, he smacked his lips. He felt that the taste of the ants was really good. Eating ants is good, especially using ants to make wine. It can also cure some diseases. After Zhang Xiaobao ate a mouthful of ants, he introduced the benefits of eating ants to Li Sun. If it was someone else who said this to Li Sun would definitely think that person was lying to him. However, since it was Zhang Xiaobao who said it, he could only choose to believe. He believed that it must be the person behind the scenes who told Zhang Xiaobao. After this meal, when Li Sun thought that they were going to continue on their journey, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan took out a folded shovel from their backpacks and began to dig a hole. This time, without waiting for Li Sun to ask, Zhang Xiaobao told him, "We're not going now. We'll dig a hole and lie down to sleep. Young Master Li, if you want to continue on your journey, you can leave. Then I'm not going either. In a while, lend me your shovel. I'll dig a hole too." Li Sun didn't know why the 2 of them didn't want to leave, but he also didn't want to leave. He was relying on the 2 of them. He believed that the 2 of them definitely had their reasons for doing so. That person must have told them something. Soon, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan finished digging the hole and handed the shovel to Li Sun. They took out a blanket from their backpacks and spread it in the sand pit. Then, they wiped their faces with a wet towel and laid down in the sand pit. They covered themselves with sand, leaving only their heads outside. They put the wet towel on their forehead and closed their eyes to sleep. Fortunately, I also brought a blanket. Looking at the appearance of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, Li Sun muttered. After digging the hole, he also laid down in it and buried himself. Li Xing brought the 2 of them here. When he saw the 3 of them lying down and sleeping, he didn't dare to disturb them. He could only stay at the side and drink water from time to time. Fortunately, he brought a lot of water. The desert was not like the grassland. The older people had more physical strength. When the sun shone, even if they hid in a shady place, it was still stuffy and unbearable. The temperature emitted from the ground was like a steamer, making people's bodies sweat uncontrollably. Zhang Xiaobao and the other 2 laid down in the afternoon, which was 1 in the afternoon. They slept until 4 in the afternoon, which was 4 in the afternoon. 3 hours later, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan slept comfortably. Li Sun also rested for a while. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan crawled out of the sand, Li Xing naturally woke up his young master. "What are you doing?" "Oh, we have to hurry." "Comfortable. I didn't expect that sleeping in the sand could be so comfortable." Li Sun stretched and yawned. He looked around in a daze. Knowing that they had to continue their journey, he patted the sand off his body and followed behind Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. At this time, the desert was still hot. The temperature was not much lower than before, but the 3 of them were much more energetic than before. When they were lying in the sand, their skin was constantly nourished by the moist sand. Children had a strong temper. After eating so many ants, they were not afraid of catching a cold. Li Sun originally thought that they would be the last to arrive after sleeping for 3.5 hours. In the end, after walking for another 2 hours, he found that many children were at the big water station in front of them. No one was willing to continue walking. There were some stones that had been built into a pool and filled with water. The children all ran inside to play. It was really too hot. The 3 of them replenished their water and did not play like the others. They continued their journey. When the sky was about to turn dark, they saw a few people moving in front of them. "Young master, just now, someone came to report that no one has reached their destination yet. Right now, there are only 3 Li left." Li Xing reported to Li Sun. "Ah, no one has arrived? Where are they?" Li Sun was surprised and happy. There are 4 people who were in a hurry. In the end, they almost got heat stroke and were carried down. When they recovered, they were carried back to their original place. "There are 3 people 1 kilometer ahead, and the rest are these people," Li Xing replied. He was also happy. From the looks of it, young master might be the first to arrive. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also heard it. The 2 of them nodded and sped up. The few people who saw them watched as they passed by them. There was nothing they could do. They did not have much strength left. They had participated in the grassland expedition and knew that if they sped up now, they would not be able to reach their destination. When night fell, the 3 of them were only half a kilometer away from their destination. The figures of the 3 people in front of them vaguely appeared there. "Run!" Zhang Xiaobao shouted. He and Wang Wan ran forward first. Li Sun was panting heavily. He gritted his teeth and ran after them. This time he was really convinced. These 2 brats actually still had the strength. One in front, one behind, the same pace, the same arm movement, it gave people an indescribable feeling. When they were only a few dozen feet away from the last tent, Zhang Xiaobao and the other 2 overtook the 3 people who were almost crawling. At the entrance of the tent, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan fell down at the same time. When the 2 of them got up, Li Sun happened to pass by them and was the first to arrive. Li Xing was also tired. He drank a few mouthfuls of water and said intermittently, "Young master is still the best. He is the first to arrive." Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan lost their strength when they saw the place and fell down. Yes, young Master Li is the best. Cuckoo, and I don't have any strength at all. We are holding on." Zhang Xiaobao took off his backpack and gently put it aside. While washing Wang Wan's hands and preparing to eat, he said to Li Sun, who was lying on the ground and rolling his eyes. Wang Wan nodded fiercely at the side. "Yes, I really don't have any strength. I have to eat quickly to recover my strength." The 2 of them sat at the table and began to eat and drink. "Xiaobao, look, this is good. This is venison. Try it, it is delicious. Marinate it with our bean sauce and then roast it. It smells so good. Come on, 1 for each of us. This is the deer lip." When Wang Wan saw the things on the table, she immediately found the good ones. She picked up 2 of the 4 pieces of deer lip and shared them with Zhang Xiaobao while talking. "Eat, I am starving. Look at this shrimp, 4 inches long and boiled in salt water. I like to eat it the most. I will peel one for you." Zhang Xiaobao hadn't swallowed the food in his mouth yet. He reached out and grabbed 2 salted prawns and peeled them for Wang Wan. Li Sun lay there and watched Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan eat and talk. He really didn't know what to say. He knew that they were letting him eat. What did it mean to be tired? He was the one who was tired. The 2 of them were eating and drinking as if nothing had happened. They didn't look tired at all. I didn't expect that after missing a meal and sleeping for 3 hours, we would actually arrive first. I understand that leaving first is not necessarily the best. Li Sun endured the taste of sweat all over his body and muttered. Li Xing was also sitting beside him. He couldn't open his eyes, but he was still holding the young marquis. Young master is right. This is called strategizing. He had already calculated that this would happen. Sure enough, young master is the first to arrive. The others can't compare. Li Sun's face turned red from Li Xing's words. She waved her hand, signaling him to stop talking. The two of them were sitting there and eating. Zhang Xiaobao, is there anything good? Don't forget to leave a piece of deer lip for me. Li Sun turned his head and asked Zhang Xiaobao. He felt that there must be something good that Zhang Xiaobao didn't take out. Chapter 171. The stars in the sky couldn't block out the radiance of the crescent moon. The fire in the tent couldn't dispel the cold of the night. The light attracted mosquitoes that traveled more than 10 miles to find this place. When they encountered the incense, some of them ran far away, and some fell down headfirst. After eating their fill and resting for 2 hours, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan opened their eyes almost at the same time. They packed their bags, and under the light of the moon and stars outside, they once again walked towards their destination tomorrow. The guards in the camp quickly came to stop them. Young Master Zhang, may I know where the two of you are heading? It's late, and there aren't so many people around to protect you. We're in a hurry. We don't need anyone to protect us. It's cooler at night. Zhang Xiaobao replied, and continued to walk forward with Wang Wan. The guards were stunned, and once again stopped the two. While chatting, they sent someone to inform the young marquis. Li Sun was dreaming about eating ants when she was woken up by someone. She opened her hazy eyes and asked what was going on. When she heard that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were going out again, she shook her head vigorously, put on a set of clothes and rushed out. Zhang Xiaobao, what are you two doing instead of sleeping at night? Li Sun asked with a yawn outside the tent where Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were sleeping. We're in a hurry. While it's dark and not so hot, we're going to walk more and wait until dawn to rest. The desert is not a place to be. If we don't leave at this time, walking during the day will tire us to death. Survival in the wild, who said that we can only survive during the day and sleep at night. When we wake up tomorrow morning, someone will bring us food. Young Master Li, you should go back to sleep. Zhang Xiaobao explained. He and Wang Wan deliberately wanted to break Li Sun's original idea. Survival in the wild was based on achieving one's goal. What did it have to do with whether it was day or night? But, you guys wait, I'll go too. Someone, bring me my backpack. Li Sun wanted to say something to refute, but found that he couldn't. Zhang Xiaobao was right. Who said that they could only travel during the day? When an army was marching, it didn't matter what time it was. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a night attack. Suppressing his sleepiness, he had to ask his men to prepare and follow Zhang Xiaobao. If he wanted to know more about survival in the wild, he could only learn from them. There was still no news from Li Cheng, so he didn't know what he had to say to the expert. Li Sun's men were very efficient. The things that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan used during the day had already been prepared when it was dark. They put them in their backpacks and handed them to Li Sun. Taking advantage of this time, Li Sun changed his clothes and said to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, "Okay, let's go." Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan couldn't refuse him. They nodded, took out small lanterns from their backpacks, lit candles, and led the way. "Come on, give me a lantern." When Li Sun saw that they had lanterns, the kind that could be folded, he quickly asked the people next to him for a lantern, but it couldn't be folded. Walking in the desert at night was indeed different from walking during the day. They couldn't see further ahead and could only stare at the front. It consumed a lot of energy. In addition, the temperature in the desert was low at night, so people were more energetic. "Why didn't you two say so earlier?" "I'm still sleepy." "I understand. It turns out that we have to travel at night in the desert." "That's right. It's so hot during the day that it can kill people. Without enough water, it's natural to bury yourself to sleep when it's hot and travel when it's cold." "I'll remember now. In the desert at night, we have to light lanterns. It's not so scary and it can be warmer. When we go back, I'll ask people to make lanterns." "Is that right?" Li Sun was still sleepy, but he got rid of his sleepiness after being blown by the cold wind. He followed Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan as they walked. Zhang Xiaobao extinguished his lantern, and Wang Wan did the same. Then she said to Li Sun, "Who said that we have to light lanterns at night? If it's a sneak attack, won't we be telling the enemy where you are? Our lanterns are prepared for fear that others can't find us. We lit them just now to illuminate you." "That's right. Which soldier can travel at night with a lantern? If it's discovered, I'll extinguish it too." While speaking, Li Sun really extinguished his lantern. The surroundings immediately darkened. The three people continued to walk forward. They couldn't see the road clearly, so they could only walk step by step mechanically, saving a lot of energy. Li Sun came out, so naturally, there were many people following behind them. At first, they held torches, but when they saw that the young master extinguished his lantern, they inserted their torches into the sand and continued to walk in the dark. Fortunately, there was still moonlight, so they could vaguely see the three people's figures. "Here, sprinkle this powder on your body." Zhang Xiaobao walked, and suddenly stopped. He took out a paper bag from his backpack and handed it to Li Sun. "What's this for?" Li Sun took it and asked doubtfully. "To drive away snakes and insects. The real desert is not like here. Anything can happen at night. Even if many people have cleaned up here, there may be dangerous things coming out at night. This is a medicine prepared by some hunters. It's quite useful." "Oh, okay, I'll sprinkle it." Li Sun opened the paper bag and sprinkled the powder on his body without any doubt. He left a little and deliberately asked loudly, "Can this thing really drive away the snakes and insects in the desert?" No one answered his question, but he didn't care. After asking, he wrapped the rest of the powder in the paper and threw it on the ground along with the extinguished lantern. As the three people walked past, the people behind them carefully picked up the paper bag and put it in their arms before turning around and leaving. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan still walked with their heads down. Li Sun followed behind them. At this time, he was more energetic and felt that it was meaningless to just walk like this, so he began to ask again. "Zhang Xiaobao, you said that we can really encounter other things at night, such as snakes or something like that. If we catch them, will we have food for lunch tomorrow?" "I don't have that ability. We don't know who will eat who at that time. Young Master Li, let's hurry on. We won't be able to eat anything from now until tomorrow. Save some energy." Zhang Xiaobao was really annoyed. Li Sun asked about everything, and he still wanted to catch snakes in the desert? If it was only him and Wang Wan, he really dared to try. With the addition of the Emperor's nephew and those people behind them, he didn't want to expose his snake-catching ability. It would be suspicious if such a small child caught snakes. "Okay, I won't ask. I won't ask now." Li Sun didn't get angry because he had a favor to ask at this time. As expected, he didn't ask anymore. In the campsite, the news of the three people leaving quickly spread. When the adults who were accompanying their children heard that Li Sun and the two people from the Zhang family's manor had left not long ago to continue their journey in the middle of the night, they suppressed the reluctance in their hearts and woke their children up, asking them to learn how to travel. This was not only because they wanted to be cool at night, but also because they wanted to be associated with Li Sun, who had a high status. The group of children reluctantly got up under the urging of their families and followed behind in a daze. One of Han Yongyao's uncles followed and also woke him up. At first, he didn't want to go out no matter what. He was so fat that he almost died of exhaustion during the day. However, when he heard that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan went out, he was awake and didn't feel sleepy anymore. "I'll go. I don't believe that I can't catch up with them when it gets cold." Han Yongyao gritted his teeth and said. He was still thinking about the shame of the day before yesterday. It was not yet midnight. He didn't dare to take revenge on the Emperor's nephew, but he hated Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. During the day, he wanted to do something bad, but he couldn't find an opportunity. He was fat. When the weather was hot, his body would become weak. His fat was nurtured, not trained. When had he ever suffered like this? He shouted that he wanted to go because he wasn't afraid of the heat at night. He wanted to catch up with Zhang Xiaobao and scare them or give them a few slaps to let them know how powerful he was. If this kind of thing happened to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, they wouldn't do it at all. However, For a 10-year-old child like Han Yongyao, this was the best method. The children didn't understand the adults, so they secretly cursed as they hurried. Zhang Xiaobao and the other two didn't walk very fast. The people behind them caught up in less than 2 hours. They actually came out? Good. Li Sun saw the people behind him and said happily. Originally, he didn't know how to explain to others why he had broken the rules he had set before. This time, everyone came, so it saved him a lot of trouble. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't care whether others came or not. Their purpose was to draw Li Sun into the circle so that he could put more energy into this kind of thing and stop thinking about Zhang Xiaobao and Zhuangzi. At this time, Han Yongyao hurried over. He thought that he would feel better at night, but he didn't expect that he would still be tired after chasing them here. When he saw a group of people together, he felt that his opportunity had come. At this time, only Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's figures were left in his eyes. He ran 2 steps and came behind them. He laughed and said, "Zhang Xiaobao, and you, Wang Wan, are you afraid of me?" Li Sun was stunned for a moment. He didn't know who was talking. When he wanted to see clearly, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan ignored this person and continued to walk forward. This person chased after them for 2 steps, so Li Sun couldn't see clearly for a moment. "Zhang Xiaobao, you guys stop right there. I think you want to be beaten." Han Yongyao caught up and reached out to grab the 2 people's heads as he spoke. Before Li Sun could stop him, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan suddenly squatted down and swept back at the same time. With a poof sound, Han Yongyao crawled onto the sand and his whole face was pressed to the ground. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan acted as if nothing had happened. They stepped on Han Yongyao's hand at the same time. After Han Yongyao groaned, they continued to walk forward. Li Sun caught up with them and asked, "Who is this person? Is it one of the children?" "I don't know. Who cares? Let's go. This person is too careless. The sand is different from usual. It's slippery with leather shoes," Zhang Xiaobao said and sped up. Chapter 172. It was a dark night on a sand mountain. The wind was cold, and it was difficult to walk. "Yongyao, get up, what happened to you?" When Zhang Xiaobao and the other 2 slipped down from the sand, a person ran from behind Han Yongyao and helped him up while carefully asking, "Uncle, I'm fine. I fell and my shoes slipped." Han Yongyao spat out the sand in his mouth and explained to his uncle. He didn't dare to complain at this time. After falling, he found that the imperial nephew was also beside him. Fortunately, he didn't recognize who he was. If this matter was known by his uncle, he would at least be scolded. It was not worth it. He had to catch up and find a way to revenge. After persuading his uncle to leave, Han Yongyao continued to rush forward. Only when he started to walk did he realize that his 2 calves were sore and painful. He groaned and muttered, "2 little bastards, so ruthless. Don't let me catch you, Humph. Xiaobao, look at the sky. It's almost the autumn harvest. Are we still going to participate in the next wilderness survival on the flat ground?" Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan walked and chatted along the way. They didn't talk about things here, only the arrangements at home. "I'm not participating. Tomorrow, we'll reach our destination in the desert at midnight. Then, we'll go back and watch the others harvest. Little Red and the others will be back soon. I wonder how many poultry died this time and how much harvest we got." Zhang Xiaobao also whispered back. Li Sun followed beside them. He only knew that they were talking, but he didn't know what they were talking about. At this time, he was wearing shoes with small lumps on the bottom. There was no 1,000-layer soles, and they were leather soles. 1,000-layer soles couldn't be dried so fast with flour paste. Thinking about the person who fell just now, he felt very lucky. Naturally, he didn't see Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's back sweep. What about here? Wang Wan was still thinking about Li Sun's energy. "Easy, look at me and cooperate," Zhang Xiaobao whispered back, and then said to Wang Wan in a louder voice, "Cuckoo, do you know what is more fun than wilderness survival?" "Really? Did he tell you?" Seriously, Why didn't he tell me? Xiaobao, tell me, what else is there to do? Wang Wan played along. Li Sun was still thinking about the shoes when he heard their conversation. His ears twitched slightly and his eyes widened, as if he wanted to hear something better with his gaze. Zhang Xiaobao didn't disappoint him. As they walked, he said, "Of course there are. Surviving in the wild allows most of us to get used to the environment. More importantly, it allows some scouts to better gather information. However, scouts don't just need to be equipped with this ability. A qualified scout must know how to track, know how to hide, and know how to use simple tools to make all kinds of weapons and small things. Tracking, hiding. Was it a game of hide and seek? I know this. When I played with you, you always hid behind the firewood. Am I good at tracking?" Wang Wan continued to play along. "Yes, you are. Next time, I won't hide behind the firewood. I'll change places. I'll hide in the water. This time, you won't be able to find me, right?" Changing places? You're not going to hide in the river in front of the door, are you? I know a place with deep water. You can hide there, but how will you breathe? Wang Wan suggested. At the same time, she was a little worried. At first, Li Sun wanted to laugh. He felt that Zhang Xiaobao was too stupid. He hid in the same place every time and even said where he was going to hide next time. He held back his laughter. When he heard Wang Wan's words, he also felt that this method wouldn't work. How could a person not breathe underwater? Zhang Xiaobao revealed a look of confidence. "I'm not afraid in the water. I can make a bamboo tube and put one end in my mouth and the other end in the water. This thing can be used not only in the water, but also in the sand. Buried in the sand, you only need a small tube to breathe. Oh, it really works. When you're thirsty, you can drink water directly from the tube. Why didn't I think of that?" Wang Wan continued to play her role. "Good idea." Li Sun sighed inwardly. He thought that if all the scouts in the army knew this method, it would be much easier to win. He wanted to praise them, but he was afraid that the two would not say anything. He could only hold back and listen quietly. Zhang Xiaobao said again, "This is nothing. We can find some cloth and paint it in the colors of various stones. When the time comes, we can directly cover ourselves and pretend to be a stone. Then we can get a pile of leaves to hide ourselves. Hiding in a tree will make it difficult for people to find us." Oh, how can I find you when you do that? No, I won't play hide and seek with you in the future. Wang Wan complained and stomped her feet. "How can you not find us? You know the method I want to use, so you can follow this method to find us. In fact, it's very simple. You just have to think hard about how to hide from others. When you are a person who hides, what is the thing that scares you the most? Naturally, you can use it when you find us." Zhang Xiaobao continued to talk to Wang Wan. At the same time, he also guided Li Sun's thinking to let him think more about how to hide and how to find. Wang Wan deliberately started to talk nonsense. "Let me think. When I hide in the water, I am most afraid of the water drying up. When I hide in the tree, I am most afraid of the tree falling. Think about it, there are no leaves on the tree. You are the only one who made such a big pile. Of course you will be found, right? Cuckoo is really smart. This is not good. In the future, you will be able to find me as soon as you look." Zhang Xiaobao praised. Li Sun's serious expression turned into one of trying to hold back her laughter. These two kids were really too funny. How could it be so simple to hide and find them so foolishly? Right, he had to think about it carefully. When the time came, he would find an older child to do this. At the same time, he could ask someone who often hunted. He would find a child to practice first. When the time was right, he would tell his father. He would help the soldiers of this dynasty to gain more merits and surpass others. Li Sun was thinking about this in his mind. He followed the two mechanically. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that this was a good idea. He wanted to hear more about Zhang Xiaobao and Li Sun's good ideas. However, He found that the two people stopped talking and walked faster with their heads lowered. Li Sun hesitated for a moment. He stopped and waved to Li Xing, who was following behind him. Li Xing didn't know whether it was because he saw the young master's movement in such a dark night or because he found that the young master suddenly stopped, so he immediately ran to him. "Young master, what are you?" Li Xing thought that the young master was cold. He took off his clothes and prepared to put them on the young master while asking, "Don't move. Remember, help me find some experienced people, like old hunters, people who make a living in the water, and people who have been driving for decades. Find them, give them more money, and ask them to tell me how to hide themselves in various places and how to track others. Don't forget." Li Sun stopped Li Xing's movement and said quickly. He still wanted to catch up with Zhang Xiaobao and Li Sun. Li Xing didn't understand what the young master wanted to do. He swallowed back the words that were about to come out of his mouth. He knew that the young master was in a hurry. Anyway, this matter was not difficult. He nodded and looked at the young master's blurred figure leaving quickly. He didn't dare to delay. He found other people to give them orders and also chased after them. Under the influence of the cool air of the desert at night, the children seemed to have forgotten their fatigue. They jumped and ran again. They couldn't see the road clearly and were covered by the cool air. Each one of them seemed to have a lot of energy. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were also running, but they didn't make any jumping movements. Running up and down drained too much of their energy. They understood that even though these children had the strength to run now, they were affected by the darkness and temperature. When the sun rose the next morning, their exhausted bodies would not be able to hold on. Li Sun ran a few times and finally caught up with Zhang Xiaobao and Li Sun. He tried to adjust his breathing. He didn't know what they would say. Maybe he could hear them talk when he went to sleep tomorrow. After they ran for a while, the adults behind them finally couldn't catch up. During the day, they relied on their greater perseverance than the children to persevere. Walking in the desert, no matter how old you are, if you don't exercise regularly, you won't be tired in the slightest. In addition, the adults' recovery speed was not as fast as the children's. At this time, they all felt that their backs and legs were sore. They secretly wondered who was the one training this time. Maybe if they persevered for a few days, they would be much stronger than before. The only thing that made them feel relieved was the disciplined guards sent by Li Sun. These guards ran at a distance from the side. If any child couldn't take it anymore, they would be able to treat them. "You guys wait for me. I don't believe that you two children can run faster than me. Wait for me to catch up with you." Han Yongyao was fat and had never exercised before. He gritted his teeth and chased after them with his eyes wide open. At this time, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan became his motivation. His uncle ran for a while and finally had to give up. At the same time, he sighed in his heart. It was better to do this often than to keep raising him. Tonight, Han Yongyao was much better than usual. He knew how to work hard. He seems to have caught up. I knew it when I heard his breathing. Wang Wan ran and heard the sound of breathing not far behind her. She judged that it was the future neighbor and said to Zhang Xiaobao with a little surprise, "Don't be afraid, he can't catch up. There is a slope in front. If we rush up, we can slip and drop him." It seems that hatred can also make people improve. Zhang Xiaobao knew what kind of mentality Han Yongyao had at this time. He said with a smile, took 2 deep breaths in a row, and suddenly sped up. Wang Wan followed closely. Li Sun also gritted his teeth and ran 2 steps. Chapter 173. The children ran the whole night without much rest. When the first ray of light shone on the horizon, it was just as Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had predicted. All of them couldn't run anymore. Their clothes were drenched in sweat, and as the temperature gradually rose, it was stuffy and hot. There was also a little bit of coldness from the inside out. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't care about the others. They went to a nearby water station, took off their outer clothes, and washed them with water. Then, they stuck the retractable stick into the sand to prop themselves up. Then, They wet their towels and wiped their arms and legs a little. Then, they put up a blanket and waited there for breakfast. Originally, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan planned to let Pomegranate send the League Hunter to deliver breakfast, but in the end, everyone else joined in. Li Sun got someone to take a car to come here first, saving Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan a lot of trouble. How is it? Zhang Xiaobao, do you think this arrangement is good? Not letting others bring anything and only providing 2 meals, this is survival. No matter what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did, Li Sun would follow suit. At the same time, he washed his clothes with water. He didn't know how to wash, so he wiped his arms and legs and sat in front of the 2 people to show off his skills. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan shook their heads at the same time and took the porridge to eat. Li Sun was still waiting for the 2 of them to praise him, but he didn't expect to get such a result. Looking at the bowl of porridge in front of him, he asked unwillingly, "Did I do something wrong?" Of course, this is a place for children to play. What survival in the wild? For survival in the wild, who would specially go to the front to give water? Who would arrange 2 meals a day? Why can't we bring anything? Are scouts not allowed to bring dry rations when they go out? Zhang Xiaobao asked several questions in succession, but Li Sun couldn't answer them. Wang Wan added, that's right. As for the rest tent, it should be carried by the people themselves. They can rest whenever they want. Whoever reaches the last place first will be the winner. My family, someone said it, is to give them a chance to prepare. They can bring whatever they want. The people protecting them will only interfere when they can't take it anymore. Li Sun listened carefully. He felt that it made sense, but he also felt that it was not feasible to do so. However, he deduced an important thing from Wang Wan's words. That was, the expert really did exist. Everything was said by the expert. Yes, he noted this down. Children who were too young would not be able to do it. He could let children over the age of 10 try. At this time, Han Yongyao also dragged his heavy footsteps to the side. He lay on the side and panted heavily. His eyes did not forget to stare at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan a few times. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not care about this stare at all. The 2 of them had no problem beating the other party, but it would not solve anything. There was still hatred, and it would only expose themselves. Not making a move on him did not mean that they did not value him. When they returned, they would prepare. As for how to calculate, it would depend on the other party's moves. What's wrong? If you don't want to rest, are you going to continue on your journey? Li Sun and Zhang Xiaobao finished eating at almost the same time. When he saw the 2 of them put down their chopsticks, he yawned and asked, "Yes, we are in a hurry to go home. I won't play anymore. This thing is for you." Zhang Xiaobao said and took out the saltpeter from his backpack, as well as the set of bowls. "Go home? You can get the first place, and then there will be a reward. I have also asked people to make a few plates. You will definitely get them." Li Sun did not expect that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan would go back. They had only stayed for 2 days, so he felt a little reluctant to leave. He wanted to use other benefits to attract the 2 of them. When he saw the thing that Zhang Xiaobao took out, he doubtfully asked, "This is saltpeter?" "Oh, I know, it is used to make ice for eating. Why didn't I think of it? It is not for entertainment, it is used to save lives at critical times. It is most useful when several people travel together. It can help the people around you to prevent heat stroke. More importantly, it is used to suppress wounds. Therefore, I only brought a little. If you want to bring more, it is better to bring water. Even if it is hot water, it can still save people's lives." Zhang Xiaobao explained to Li Sun. "Ah, it is actually used like this? Zhang Xiaobao, since you are leaving, why don't you give me your backpack?" Li Sun understood this time. Saltpeter was not used to make ice for people to eat casually. When he looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's backpack, he finally said the words in his heart. He believed that there were definitely some good things inside. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looked at each other and shook their heads. Zhang Xiaobao said, "Young Master Li, these things are enough for you to use. When you are almost finished, we will organize another trip. When we come back, we will show you some new things. Interest was also a gradual process. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not want to expose everything so early. There were indeed some things in the backpack, such as several different kinds of needles, a string separated from sheep intestines, a small soldering iron, some good charcoal, and a 3-edged needle. These were used to treat external injuries and bleed the human body, especially internal bleeding. Although the 3-edged needle could not cure the person, it could prolong the time for a while. It was not suitable to take them out at this time. Originally, they were going to bring some pure powder, but later gave up. Okay, I will organize another trip at that time. Be careful on the way. Li Sun did not know what to say. He really wanted to snatch the two people's backpack, but he also knew that this was like killing the chicken to get the eggs. If he forced them this time, he would not expect them to bring him anything. He had to say a sentence of blessing. Haha, are you afraid? Not far away, Han Yongyao, who heard Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan leaving, suddenly shouted. He was angry. He was prepared to retaliate against the two people in a while, but he did not expect that they would be ready to go home after eating. Shut up. Without waiting for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to speak, Li Sun turned his head and angrily scolded them. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not pay attention to him at all. They rinsed their mouths with water, patted their full stomachs, and walked towards the outside of the desert. There was a dirt road there, and the car sent by their family was parked on the road. Han Yongyao did not dare to show any dissatisfaction with Li Sun. He had to smile and apologize. After avoiding Li Sun's gaze, he stared at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's backs as they left. Xiaobao, he must hate us to death. Wang Wan did not need to look back to know the situation over there. Humph. Let's go back and think of a way to deal with his family. This child is really not as good as Li Sun. At least, if it was Li Sun, he would not have made his attitude so obvious. Han Yongyao, a child, dared to show his hatred when he did not have his own power. It can only be said that his family's upbringing is not good. A good family will raise their children from a young age. If he can't do it, it means that his family is not good either. Zhang Xiaobao began to analyze the situation of his new neighbor through this small matter. He continued, with a child like him, we can still make use of him. The more hatred, the better. Don't you think that I am bullying a child? Children are always bullied. Otherwise, why would he dare to treat us like this? Isn't it because we are young? The autumn harvest is coming. Do you know how to peel the grain? Wang Wan did not want to talk more about the topic just now. She changed the topic and it became a technical matter. Zhang Xiaobao nodded. I know. I have seen people peel the grain and grind it into flour. I have also seen it. When the rice is transported to a place specially made for peeling, they first take out a cover with a big hole and put it on the electric motor. When the grain is poured into it, most of the grain comes out. Then, they change it with a cover with a smaller hole. Okay, I know. When we go back, you make this electric motor. I will have someone prepare the cover. This will save a lot of effort for the farmers. Wang Wan held out her thumb and gestured to Zhang Xiaobao. Actually, there is another way. That is to put the rice in the open space, dry it and beat it with something. After beating it, it will be blown up by the wind. I know how to make this thing. Zhang Xiaobao said to Wang Wan with a serious face. This is something that people can do now. There is no need for you. Do you have a way to make a simple peeling machine? For example, the kind that uses livestock and manpower. No, we can't remove the skin of the rice and wheat. That way, they can be stored for a short period of time. If we keep the shell, they can be stored for 2 or 3 years. Otherwise, in less than a year, those black bugs will grow. Keep the shelled ones and eat them immediately. Zhang Xiaobao still had this experience. Once the rice and flour were made, they had to find a way to sell it. Otherwise, when the insects grew, it would affect the price. Wang Wan really didn't have this kind of experience. She was stunned for a moment and asked suspiciously, You are not lying? I can't use this kind of thing to lie to you. Kaiyuan, in 2 years, there will be more food. Take advantage of this time and buy some back. We can make cakes, big rice cakes and other things to sell. Don't touch your own first. This year, we will only buy the shelled ones. Help me think of something to make noodles. Take advantage of this winter to make more money. It won't be easy to make money with food in the future. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan talked about the future with confidence. Wang Wan, on the other hand, didn't believe him. Wei Wei tilted her head and asked, "Do you really plan to do this? Sell some cakes?" "Yes." Zhang Xiaobao nodded firmly. "Really?" Wang Wan's voice rose in pitch. "Yes." Zhang Xiaobao opened his eyes wide and nodded fiercely. "Yes." Wang Wan continued to raise her voice. Actually, we can do something else. Why do you have to ask so clearly? It's not good for a husband and wife to know too much. I'm trying my best to leave you with a sense of mystery. Do you feel it?" Zhang Xiaobao compromised at this moment. "I feel it. I feel that I don't want to live with you. Hurry up and say it. Otherwise, when I grow up, I will marry An Lushan. Let's see what you can do then," Wang Wan threatened. Zhang Xiaobao was stunned for a moment and suddenly laughed. "You marry that fatty? Yes, good. Now he is in trouble. I don't need to do anything. He will know who he can't marry. He will regret it to death. Ha 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 ha. Zhang Xiaobao, get out of the car. I won't sit in the same car as you." Chapter 174. The road back was long, and the bells jingled. Pomegranate was in a daze, and she was happy in the car. The sun was shining, and the trees were green. The fragrance of the wildflowers was on the other side of the water. After joking around for a while, Zhang Xiaobao finally told her his plan. "It's actually very simple. The people here belong to the north, and they don't like to eat fish. Fish fillets can be used as snacks, but fish meat is hard to deal with. There are many rivers here, and the fishing technology is backward, so it's impossible to catch all of them. I'm going to make some money from the fish. When the people here get used to the taste of fish and like it, we can buy seafood that can't be made into MSG and sell it for more money." "Humph, I'll tell you the truth. I knew that international swindlers are all bad. Ordinary people take one step at a time, and those who are a little smarter take one step at a time. Those who are smarter take one step at a time, and those who are smarter take one step at a time. But people like you have to take at least 5 steps before taking a step." Wang Wan was satisfied. She didn't want to be unable to follow Zhang Xiaobao's train of thought. When this kind of person didn't do anything, others would only think that he was a simple person. When he really did something, they would never know what he wanted to do. "Well, I'll take it as a compliment. I'll give you a detailed plan. I think that the people here don't like to eat fish, mainly because there are more sheep and pigs. There aren't many ways to cook fish. If the fish isn't cooked well, it's fishy and bitter. But if it's cooked well, it's different. When the time comes, I'll look for Li Sun and use the training to delay him for 2 or 3 months. Then, I'll give him a good deal. I'll use the flour collected from other places to let him open a fast food restaurant in Beijing. He can fry whole small fish, and he can fry the meat of big fish. These all need to be covered with flour, and in addition to flour, egg white, and then there will be a market for the eggs in Zhuangzi, right? I knew it. It's not that simple. You're using all the people you can get in touch with, including Cherries and your family, and me and my family." Wang Wan was really surprised. Zhang Xiaobao had considered almost everything together. As long as there was a resource that could be used, he would not miss it. "I'm not using you, I'm cooperating with you. I'm also giving. When you're controlling my things, when have I ever said no?" Kaiyuan, the food in the middle and later stages is no longer valuable. Can't I consider changing my form? Let me ask you, do you want me to use you? Zhang Xiaobao would never allow anyone to doubt his attitude towards his family. As he spoke, he turned his head angrily towards the window. Wang Wan felt that Zhang Xiaobao was the cutest at this moment. She couldn't help but kiss him on the cheek. If you want to use it, then use it. If you don't use your ability to integrate resources, even God will not be willing. Then why didn't you tell me first? It's not like I don't support you. And that person surnamed Su, he also said that for every 1,000 meters above sea level, the temperature will drop by nearly 6 degrees. It's cold, what should we do? Those poor people will go and grind, that way they can warm up. He can't. He's a scholar, so he can only dance. In dark places, he can wave 8 or 6 times in a second. That way, we can see the afterimage. It's a pity that there are still many years before we can use his application of optics. Otherwise, with his application of optics, we can do a lot of things. If there's no other way, we can find that person surnamed Li. He knows that when he's drunk, there will be 3 shadows. When he's drunk, there will be 2 shadows. People who drink too much are like that. Zhang Xiaobao touched the place where he was kissed and began to talk. Wang Wan was already stunned by Zhang Xiaobao's words. After a few seconds, she burst out laughing. I've never seen you ridicule others like this. What do you mean by saying that the heavens and the earth are only swish, leisurely, and snot, okay? Chen Ziong is lamenting. Su Shi, you're also scolding him. He's just expressing a kind of helplessness and loneliness towards kinship. There's no need to talk about Li Bai at the end. That's a kind of imagery. Sophistry, it's definitely sophistry. What do you think that person surnamed Chen means when he says leisurely? I know that the white clouds are leisurely, but what about the heavens and the earth? The joys and sorrows of life, which one isn't leisurely? Later on, he's already blushing. How uncomfortable is that? Don't tell me that his tears will slowly flow out of shame? Then he's really too fake. Swish, swish, swish. Sad, tears fall like rain. And that person surnamed Su, if he's not pretending, then what is he? Who doesn't know that it's cold at the top? Those who challenge the first peak know how cold it is at the top. I don't think he should write a poem. You say that you're at the top, but no matter how high you are, can he be as high as the emperor? He directly let you fall from more than 8,000 meters above sea level to a few hundred meters below sea level. This is the conversion between a mountain and a basin. And that person surnamed Li, he basically drinks every day. If you're really immune to alcohol, he won't drink too much. He'll faint after drinking a little rice wine. He can't hold his liquor. Take me for example. The national banquet Mao Tai is produced from the factory and has been in the cellar for 15 years. It's 52 degrees Celsius. I can drink 2 bottles in a row. How can he be compared with Wu Gang on the moon? Chang'e will pay attention to him. Look at her own reflection. If it's the reflection in the wine glass, there will be 5 people, not 3. He's making 2 mirrors at a 45-degree angle. So much land in the world won't be enough for him to step on alone. Zhang Xiaobao finally diverted Wang Wan's attention. He started to talk nonsense. That was his purpose. Wang Wan really forgot about the matter of buying noodles. Her big eyes and long eyelashes blinked. It was the first time she heard such words. It was really amazing. If this person didn't care about his face, he would dare to say anything. How is it? Are you stunned? Zhang Xiaobao asked timely. Yes. You deserve your reputation as an international swindler. I admire you. No wonder you can cheat so many officials. Generally, officials are in a melancholy mood. When they hear such a joke, of course, they will support you. How old is Li by now? 13? 14? So pitiful. Wang Wan pinched Zhang Xiaobao's chubby face. She really didn't know what to say. The truth is the truth. You have to admit that with that surnamed Li's alcohol tolerance, if he really becomes a high-ranking official, wouldn't it be a waste of time? Zhang Xiaobao continued to say. Don't mock others. You can't raise yourself by belittling others. You are already an adult, and you are still telling such jokes. It's not funny at all. I am not telling a joke. What I said is the truth. If you want to hear a joke, I will tell you. In fact, this is the truth. In the past, I met a mayor, not a municipality, but a government official. We had lunch at noon and drank too much. During the afternoon meeting, after the secretary finished speaking, I invited him to speak. At that time, he was really amazing. He walked up the stage leisurely. The audience applauded. He said one sentence, and it shocked everyone. I have always wanted to learn, but I feel that I am still far away. Zhang Xiaobao said with emotion. Ah, is he really that amazing? What did he say? Which official is he investigating? Wang Wan really couldn't think of what that mayor would say at this time. He said, "It's my turn? Good, serve the staple food." I was so scared at that time. When I invited him to lunch, I only wanted to drink. When did I ask for the staple food? Zhang Xiaobao said with a face full of annoyance. I know who he is. He is the one who said that the morning meeting is the policy, the afternoon meeting is the strategy, the afternoon meeting is the strategy, and there are rules for sleeping at night. When he goes down, he will go down together with the two high-ranking officials in the province. Let's talk about something else. Wang Wan finally stopped refuting Zhang Xiaobao. She already knew who Zhang Xiaobao was talking about. At that time, she was the one who personally led the team to go down. If it was someone else who went down, there might be a chance to reduce the punishment. But the Special Second Department will not care about these things. Once they catch their family members and illegitimate children, they can't blame the Special Second Department for not showing mercy. Alright, let's talk about something happy. How much do you think the per mu yield of Zhuangzi will reach this year? Will it reach 10,000 jin? Zhang Xiaobao continued to joke. What's 10,000 jin? I estimate it will be at least 2 jin, and it's still the low-grade fields. When the time comes, we will do somersaults in the fields. Wang Wan also played along. Zhang Xiaobao looked at the dry fields on the side of the road that obviously didn't have much yield. He sighed and said, Our family's land is about 4 to no more than 5 stones in the field, 3 to no more than 2 stones in the field, and less than 2 stones in the field. An increase of about 40% may seem like a lot, but compared to our era, it's still too far off. The highest yield per mu is less than 500 catties of rice. Yes, 200 jin for the high-grade fields is indeed too little. Don't worry, take it slow. If it really doesn't work, we can look for Li Sun to see if there are any talents in this area. Society is developing, and there will be better ideas. Wang Wan did some calculations. The trend of this year's yield was much higher than the current era's yield. Compared to the past, who planted this small amount of rice would lose money. The people outside the carriage could only hear some of the messy words in the carriage. Even Pomegranate, who had been sitting close to the carriage, couldn't understand what the young master and young lady were talking about. They knew that the young master and young lady were going back to see the autumn harvest. In their hearts, this year was a big harvest year. However, they didn't know that the two young masters in the carriage were not satisfied with this. When the two carriages arrived at the official road outside Tuqiao village, they saw a group of people coming from afar. The noise didn't matter if you liked it or not, it passed into your ears from time to time. Pomegranate sat in the carriage and frowned when she heard the noise. She stood up and looked over there. Suddenly, she knocked on the door of the carriage in surprise and shouted to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan inside, "Young master, young lady, you're back. Our things are back, and Xiao Hong and cherries are also back." Chapter 175. In the carriage, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were still talking about everything when they suddenly heard Pomegranate's voice. They stood up together in surprise. Fortunately, they were not tall and did not hit the carriage roof. They opened the door of the carriage and jumped out one after another. "Why did you come back so quickly? It took a long time to leave when we were in a hurry. Now that we are on the way back, didn't we agree that we would stop every few hours to let the poultry eat something and exchange the eggs with the local people?" Wang Wan looked at the poultry that were only visible in the distance. She was happy with a trace of puzzlement. This shows that the harvest there is relatively good, so Xiao Hong and others are not willing to waste more time. In fact, we have slowed down our speed to come here at this time. Otherwise, we would have arrived before we left. This is good. After Li Sun helps us sell some local freshwater fish, we will start to promote the benefits of saltwater fish, especially those dried fish. If we don't sell them at dozens of times the price in Chang'an, I will keep them and let them rot in my hands. Zhang Xiaobao was also happy to see these poultry come back. The thing that the farmers cared about most was how many chickens, ducks, and geese they could raise at home. As long as these poultry were in their hands, they would have confidence. Wang Wan nodded and said to Zhang Xiaobao, "They are called saltwater fish." "What saltwater fish? According to you, are they divided into river fish, and lake fish?" "Of course they are divided like that. Yellow river carp, no one sells freshwater fish, and no one calls Chinese sturgeon as freshwater sturgeon. According to the needs of the region, there are different names. The fish in the sea are naturally saltwater fish, abbreviated as saltwater fish." Zhang Xiaobao gave an example. Along the way, they were in a good mood and kept arguing. Wang Wan exhaled through her nose and said, "You have learned something new. Then let me ask you, what should we call the fish in our pond?" "Do you still need to ask?" "Of course, it is the fish in the pond." Zhang Xiaobao said without thinking. "I see. The fish in Qinghai Lake is called blackfish, right? Isn't that what the Ba Zhou's Ba Yu said?" Wang Wan asked. "If you don't follow such strict requirements, that is indeed the case." Zhang Xiaobao felt a little wronged and could only argue forcefully. Wang Wan didn't continue to dwell on this issue. She shouted to the other side, "Xiao Hong cherries here, we are here." On the other side, Xiao Hong and cherries were rushing the poultry. Hearing Wang Wan's words, they excitedly sped up. A flock of domestic fowls ran towards the farmstead. The ones in the lead were a few large geese. When they saw that there were people in front of them, they were not as smart as Furry. They knew that they could not casually attack such a creature. They lowered their heads and pressed their necks, rushing over like Wang Wan. Wang Wan grew up in the city and didn't understand the violence of these geese at all. Just when she was about to take a few steps forward, Zhang Xiaobao suddenly stood out from behind her and pulled her back, watching the two geese pecking his legs. "Xiaobao, hurry up and get them away. It hurts so much." Wang Wan could feel how much damage Zhang Xiaobao's legs would suffer at this time. "How do I get them away?" "The bigger the geese, the more tenacious they are. They can be used to guard the house instead of dogs. Just wait for cherries to come over." Zhang Xiaobao endured the pain and didn't kill the two geese at once. This geese cost a lot of money, and the price of the eggs was also not low. It was just a little pain, and he couldn't cut off a piece of meat. He just had to endure it and it would be over. It didn't take long for cherries to come over. When she saw the geese twist the young master's legs, she raised her leg and was about to kick. "Don't kick, they already have eggs. Just treat it as cupping and scraping. These geese are good, they can help guard the house in the future." Zhang Xiaobao looked at the two geese and his voice didn't change at all, as if he wasn't the one being twisted. When the two geese were taken away by cherries, Zhang Xiaobao said with a grin, "It hurts so much. Who can help me?" As he spoke, he reached out his hand to Wang Wan. Wang Wan was angry and funny, but at the same time, she was a little touched. She said to Zhang Xiaobao, "Walk by yourself. Did you twist your tendons? When we go back, I'll rub them with millet dipped in wine for you. You can show off." "No, I'm competing with my legs. If they really twisted my tendons, I'll kick them to death." "Do they really think they are so powerful because they have a mouth?" Zhang Xiaobao bent down and rubbed the place where he was twisted. He called cherries and then turned around and walked to the side of the car. At the same time he said, "If I had known, I wouldn't have been so far away from the car." "Let me see, how hurt are you?" As soon as they got in the car, Wang Wan rolled up Zhang Xiaobao's trouser leg and gently touched the bruised place with her hand. She looked up at Zhang Xiaobao and said, "I didn't expect you to be a real man. You can still stand it after being twisted like this. I did it on purpose. I wanted to see if I had reached the level of invincible Vajra. This is called cross-training iron skin, one of the 13 treasures. Zhang Xiaobao looked up and said, "Then how do you feel after you've tried it?" Wang Wan asked with a smile. "It's a bit lacking." Cherries, and Xiao Hong came back with a pile of poultry. The people on Zhuangzi happily came to welcome them. The only one who was not happy was Zhang Xiaobao. He muttered that it was too easy to go up and down the line of fire while looking for someone to remove the bruised blood. When he got home, he first soaked the bruised blood in hot water. After soaking for a while, he used a needle to prick the bruised blood out. After that, he put ice on the bruised blood. After a while, he finally felt better. Cherries and Xiao Hong were busy returning the poultry to the various farmers. The compensation for the eggs was also given out. As for the dead animals, of course, it would be counted as the owner's responsibility. Su Si and the others also ordered people to move the goods to the warehouse. Naturally, it was Zhang Xiaobao's warehouse. His money was now calculated separately from the accounts of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family. If it wasn't for the fact that the two families often used the things in his warehouse to do things, it would be better. With the return of everyone, the autumn harvest was about to begin. Every family prepared everything that they needed to prepare. Li Sun, who had just finished running in the desert, also hurried back. He wanted to see the difference between his Zhuangzi and the Zhuangzi of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family during the autumn harvest. As for the third wilderness survival training, it was postponed by him. "Young master, you're back?" This little one discovered something. Li Cheng, who had been treating Zhangjia Zhuangzi to meals and drinks these days, saw that the young master had returned. He quickly approached him and said something that the young master was interested in. "Oh, what is it? Tell me about it." Li Sun didn't expect that something would happen as soon as he came back. As for whether this matter would harm his Zhuangzi, he really didn't care. He just wanted to figure out what was going on. Replying to the young master, "According to the time that we plant, we need to harvest the wheat first. After harvesting the wheat, it's time to harvest the rice." However, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family's Zhuangzi's wheat and rice seem to ripen together. This little one really doesn't understand. Why is that? Li Cheng told Li Sun what he had observed. He really couldn't understand. If the rice of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family was a little worse, it would be reasonable. However, what he saw was that the rice was better than other places. This year, not to mention the lack of harvest, it wouldn't be a problem to harvest 10% or 20% more. Li Sun originally didn't think much of it, but when he heard Li Cheng's words, he was stunned for a moment. He asked doubtfully, "Is that really the case? How's their rice production?" "A lot. It seems that they can produce nearly 5 dan of rice. I don't know what they use." Normally, Gu family's Zhuangzi also got rice seedlings from them. Although it was a little late, the harvest shouldn't be too different, right? However, it's not the same. This little one thinks that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family's Zhuangzi didn't give the same seeds to Gu family's Zhuangzi. Li Cheng first explained the matter to the young marquis and then told him his thoughts. "Well, this matter is known. Let's talk about it next year. Let's see what they use when they plant." Li Sun also didn't understand. He didn't have the slightest knowledge about farming. When the harvest day arrived, all the farmers were busy. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family's Zhuangzi still followed the same method as last year, uniformly harvesting. The main family also prepared food early. There was meat, vegetables, soup, and rice. According to Zhang Xiaobao's idea, all the meat these days was replaced with fish. They specifically found a big fish and cut out the meat without bones. One by one, they wrapped the meat and put it in a pot of oil to fry. After they were fried, they put some seasonings on the side for people to dip in when they eat. This year, Gu family's Zhuangzi also learned from Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family's methods. They prepared delicious food for the farmers. As long as they worked hard, they would have food to eat when the harvest time came. Li Sun's Zhuangzi didn't realize it at first. The next day, Li Sun, who was used to learning from Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan and Zhuangzi's methods, also ordered people to uniformly harvest and provide food for lunch and dinner. "Young master, we can't do this. We will lose a lot of money. Why should we provide the farmers with food for 2 meals?" When Li Cheng saw the villagers eating at noon, he was scared to death. He quickly found Li Sun and told her about it. "Yes, why should we?" Just based on the fact that when the young master and young lady went to Shuiyun for a meal, someone would immediately stand up and stop them. Just based on the fact that when we spent money to bribe them, the villagers wouldn't budge at all. Just based on what they said, when Zhang Xiaobao whistled that day, the people around the 2 villages immediately rushed over to protect them. What else is there to say? Look at their harvesting speed. With the same sickle, the same wheat, and the same uniform work, their harvesting speed is 50% faster than ours. The children in our farmstead are following behind and picking up the leftovers while they are playing, but the children in the other farmstead are all very serious. What is this? This is called the human heart. I saw it. When the farmers from Zhuangzi meet other people, they stick out their chest and we lower our heads. Do you understand? Li Sun wasn't stupid at all. He noticed the difference through observation and shouted at Li Cheng angrily. Chapter 176. When autumn comes, the fields are dry and the chickens are idle. People are busy with their backs to the north, and the sun turns to the west. Scythes are swept like the wind, and sweat is like rain. 3 months of spring are spent waiting for this season. People with fields everywhere are busy harvesting their crops while the weather is hot and rainy. Otherwise, when the autumn rain falls, the harvest will be reduced in the blink of an eye. The farmers of Zhuangzi, Zhang Wang, and Wang Zhuangzi were obviously faster than the farmers of other villages. There was no difference in the way they dressed. The only difference was the tools in their hands, which were scythes. The scythes of Zhuangzi, Zhang Wang, and Wang Zhuangzi were slightly longer than the scythes of other villages. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan saw the scythes here, they found that they were different from the ones they had seen before. The 2 of them discussed and felt that the difference might be due to the difference in location. More importantly, during the process of inheritance, the workers improved little by little. Since that was the case, the 2 of them specially paid for a batch of scythes to be made. At this time, it seemed that the speed was indeed much faster. Another reason for the speed was their physical condition. Zhang Wang and Wang Zhuangzi gave some small benefits, which made the farmers healthier than other farmers. The food they ate was also much better. The mechanical labor was a competition of endurance and resistance to the sun. With these factors added together, the 2 farmers were half as fast as other villages. While the others were busy, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan ran outside and squatted in the shade of a big tree, using small wooden sticks to draw circles. Zhang Xiaobao used a ruler to draw a diagram for Li Cheng to figure out, and Wang Wan was drawing something else. "You're a combine harvester? Good idea. I'll draw an oil refinery here. When the time comes, I'll provide you with oil for the machine. You're drawing a diesel engine, right?" Zhang Xiaobao had just figured out 2 small graphics games when he turned his head and saw what Wang Wan was drawing in front of him. There were 2 big machines. The one in front was responsible for harvesting and threshing, and the one in the back was responsible for transporting dust. Don't look down on people. How long did it take from the invention of the steam engine to the satellite? When the white steam came out of the front of the car, the wheels of history run over the crystallization of countless people's sweat. Countless people. It's not something that can be done by a liar and a police officer. He contains. I know. Isn't it just the accumulation of various disciplines? It's just a drawing, and it's not like it's going to be done. When are we going to send people to the mountains to block those large natural ponds? The freshwater crabs, shrimps, and fish we bought from other places are still in the pond. If they get any bigger, we won't be able to hold them all. Wang Wan used a wooden stick to make a cross on the drawing she had drawn, clapped her hands and asked Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao looked at the people working in the field and said hesitantly, "We have to wait for them to finish their work. This time, Erniu brought a lot of my fan stones from the other side. What should we use them for? If there's no other way, we can buy a property in the capital and build a large bathing pool there. Do you think people will go there? It will cause trouble, unless you want to rely on a certain power. Do you want to?" Wang Wan poured cold water on Zhang Xiaobao. "No, I don't want to. Let's keep the stones at home. As for the fungus and tremella, don't sell them first. Keep them. After 2 years, when people's living standards improve, they will be sold for a good price. They won't get wet and can prevent insects from biting them. Those things can be kept for a long time. When we have enough people, we can release them." Zhang Xiaobao whispered a few words. Wang Wan agreed and said, "Yes, there are too few people who can take care of things on their own. If we let them do business, we will suffer losses. Let's use the store to train them first. When County Magistrate Cheng is promoted, we will continue to train new county magistrates. Let's ask County Magistrate Cheng to rope in more people. For the current officials and the students who will take the exam in the future, I agree to open an inn in the capital. Find a slightly remote place and buy it. If there's no other choice, we can just buy it outside the city." According to Zhou Shihu's uncle, the surrounding area is also prosperous. "Okay, I understand what you mean. Let's give some benefits to those students who go to the capital to prepare for the exam. Even if only 1 out of 100 people passes the exam, it will be of great help to us. It's not like they have to take the Xiuzai exam. There are other subjects. That's settled. Let's go and see what we have for dinner tonight." After Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan finished discussing business, they stood up and walked to the kitchen. There were several big pots set up. Those who were boiling water and cutting vegetables were busy. Large pieces of streaky pork and some green vegetables were thrown into the pot. Before they got close, the smell of chopped green onions wafted over. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan sniffed and nodded with satisfaction. There was a lot of the smell of oil and smoke here. They didn't use oil slick, nor did they fry the streaky pork directly. It should be good to eat later. "Little young master and little miss are here? It's hot, sit here." As soon as the people working saw the 2 little devils from the farmstead approaching, a woman in her 30s who was not very nimble with her legs found 2 small stools and moved the umbrella that was held up for them to the side, blocking the 2 of them from view. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't want to disturb her, but when they saw that she had already prepared everything, they could only enjoy it. The 2 of them understood that sometimes there were some things that one couldn't refuse. If they really left at this time, the farmer would definitely think that the master was dissatisfied. If the 2 little ancestors went back and told the master about what happened today, the master would feel that the account was disrespectful to the master. As soon as the 2 of them sat down, a short table was placed in front of them. The streaky pork that was specially prepared for the people in the inner courtyard was cut into thin slices and placed on a wooden plate. There was also a small dish of garlic sauce on the side. After that, the garden also flattened the cucumber that had been preserved until now, marinated it with salt and garlic, and poured some sesame oil on it for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to eat. Zhang Xiaobao picked up a piece of meat and dipped it in the plate. Before he even tasted it, he said, "Good, good, it's really too fragrant." "Yes, it smells good." Wang Wan also echoed at the side. As soon as the 2 of them finished speaking, just as they thought, the faces of the people around them all revealed happy smiles. A word of praise could make them happy for a day. Wang Wan also ate a piece of meat and used her tongue to lick the oil around the corner of her mouth. Then, she asked Zhang Xiaobao, "The taste is really not good, right, Xiaobao?" "Yes, it's just that the garlic sauce hasn't been soaked in the big sauce. It's even more delicious when soaked in the big sauce. The heat of cooking is also not bad. It's fat but not greasy, thin but not dry. Let's also cook it tomorrow. Instead of boiling it, cut it into slices and soak it in hot water. Then, we'll wash the oil and blood on it." Zhang Xiaobao still felt that there could be a better way to eat it. Wang Wan also nodded in agreement. "Boss, it's here. Look, the rice is growing so well. Boss, please slow down a little. Just when Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were half full, a group of people came from the small bridge. When they approached the place where they were cooking, a man wearing a green silk shirt and a beard hat was talking to a fat man with light yellow slanted shoulders, wide-legged pants, and narrow leather boots. What do they do? Wang Wan put down her chopsticks and muttered, I don't know. Usually, when you see a servant talking to a person like that, it's usually the villain. His acting skills are not as good as Song Jinggong's. It's obviously written on his face that he's a bad guy. Zhang Xiaobao joked with Wang Wan. He didn't care who came. The two families were no longer the same as before. At the very least, he was an official. He wasn't a pushover who could be easily bullied. Well, good place. 1 mu of land can actually produce more than 4 dan of grain. I heard that there's a market here. Why haven't I seen it? The boss looked left and right and asked the young man from before. If we go back to the boss's house, we're all busy. Maybe we can come out at night. Boss, please sit. It's tiring to stand. As the man spoke, he stared at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. To be precise, he stared at the stool under their butts. Clang, clang, clang. The sound of a few copper coins rolling on the table sounded. The man said to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, little kids, stand up. These copper coins are yours. Not bad. He looks like a lackey. Wang Wan looked at the copper coins on the table and said to Zhang Xiaobao. Her voice was not low, so the people around them heard it. Indeed. Otherwise, why would people say that dogs look down on people? That's probably how it came about. Zhang Xiaobao also said. At this time, the people around them who were cooking had stopped what they were doing. They took all kinds of tools and surrounded the group of people. The one who was cutting vegetables held a kitchen knife and stood in front of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. The blood on the knife dripped down drop by drop, splashing to the ground and forming a small black hole. What are you doing? Do you know who am I? The man who spoke just now had now reacted. Hearing the words of the two children, he knew that the status of the other party was not low. He said with regret and fear, Bastard, why don't you get back here? How can you let the noble give up his position? Everyone, it's because I didn't discipline him strictly and let this brat be a bit domineering. I apologize here. May I know which family these two noble children are from? Just when this brat was worried that he would be beaten, the boss behind him stood up in time to smooth things over. At this time, he saw clearly that the two children were wearing clothes made of ordinary materials, but the parts of their faces and hands that were exposed were white and tender. Ordinary village children would not be like this. What are you asking about? Where did you come from? What do you do? The person in charge of the cooking place did not answer the other party's words. Instead, he looked at them with a suspicious gaze and asked, This is our boss. He specially came to see you. It's the autumn harvest. There are so many grains that can't be sold. Our boss wants them all. 10 copper coins per bushel. The bastard knew that it was time for him to speak. He pointed to the land that had not been harvested and offered a very high purchase price. Chapter 177. No, we're not selling. We're still keeping them for planting next year. Isn't that right, young master? The leader of the farmers refused without even thinking. He turned around and asked Zhang Xiaobao. The other people who were cooking also supported this. Indeed, they couldn't sell them. In the past, 1 mu of land could produce about 3 dan of land. Now, the best land could produce about 5 dan of land. The worst land could produce more than 2 dan of land. This was money. What was in the land was no longer food, but seeds. Usually, a dough of millet would cost 4 or 5 won. A dough of rice would cost more than 10 won, close to 21. Although the rice hadn't been shelled, the price was already too low. Why would they buy it at a high price? Who were they trying to fool? Zhang Xiaobao already had an idea at this time, but he couldn't say it out loud. He could only pretend to be stupid. He looked at the people around him with a smile and said, "I don't know either. I'll go home and ask the housekeeper." As he spoke, he pulled Wang Wan and ran home. At this time, the boss, Lai Zi, and the others knew that the two little guys were actually the children of the main family in Zhuangzi. No wonder so many people were protecting them. Lai Zi was especially scared. He almost caused trouble just now. He went to other people's Zhuangzi and bullied other people's children. If the farmers beat him up and sent him to the government, he would only lose and not win. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan ran away. The boss and his group of 12 people didn't know what to do. They originally wanted to test the price first. After all, except for a few places that were affected by drought, there was a bumper harvest everywhere. The price of grain would definitely be low. If they wanted to buy husked rice for 10 won per do, the price would be a lot. They didn't expect that the farmers were not stupid. They knew that such good rice could be used for planting. This was troublesome. Under the covetous gaze of the chef, the 12 people felt uncomfortable. It was the boss who spoke. "The price is negotiable. Your Zhuangzi is not bad. Shall we look around?" He was testing the farmers to see if they would give in. If they didn't, he could only go back. Their Zhuangzi was their territory. The farmers didn't continue to pay attention to the dozen people. They turned back and continued to cook. At this moment, the sky was almost dark. The people on the ground were pulling out the harvested grain. After they finished, they would come back to eat. They didn't have so much time to waste on these people. "Sister Lame, give me a bowl of water first. I'm thirsty." Let me smell it. This meat. Some of the faster workers had already come over by this time. Among them, a young man in his 20s shouted from afar, "Drink. You only know how to be lazy. Here, drink. You won't be able to eat after drinking." The lame woman poured a bowl of water and slammed it on the table. After cursing, she went back to work. Rascal was the kind of person who wouldn't let go of an opportunity to sow discord. When he heard other people talking, he thought that the opportunity had come, so he acted like a good person and reminded them, "Shut up. What do you know? Sister Lame's leg was injured because she helped her parents-in-law block a tree that was blown down by the wind. Who doesn't know that Zhuangzi has the best lame daughter-in-law? Who are you? Where did you come from?" The young man glared at the lad with dissatisfaction. He rolled up his sleeves and was about to go forward. "Lad, get back here. If it weren't for your sister, I would have kicked you out long ago. You caused trouble for me all day." At this moment, the farmer wished he could kick the lad back home. He glared at him and called him back. As soon as the lad came in front of him, he was slapped. After slapping him, the farmer said to the farmer, "Lad, you don't need to be disciplined. Young man, do your thing. We just came over to take a look and want to collect some grain. Young man, why didn't you go home and come here?" The farmer was too busy and didn't have the energy. The young man didn't want to pay attention to them. He went to the basin at the side to wash up and wiped himself with a cloth. He took a wooden bowl and a pair of chopsticks and asked someone to fill it with rice and vegetables. When he squatted down and was about to eat, he said, "Go home. The farmer is taking care of your meals. You'd better leave quickly. Our Zhuangzi is different from other places. We don't sell grain even if we want to buy it." He felt it was very normal when he said it, but to the 12 people, it was unusual. Some Zhuangzi only took care of their meals when they collected the grain and stored it in the warehouse. They didn't expect that they would take care of their meals when they were harvesting here. There was so much meat and a few side dishes. The rice wasn't the usual millet, but white and shiny rice. Smelling the smell, they were hungry. "Hurry up, Xiaobao, do you think we should sell it or not? We've been targeted. Where did the farmer come from? Could there be a prince behind him?" Wang Wan said as she followed Xiaobao home. Her words were filled with worry. "What prince? Do you think those princes are stupid? Whose territory is this?" "It's Li Cheng's. His son lives next to us. Which prince would be so stupid to come to Zhuangzi directly? If it's really a prince, he will definitely go to the Li family's Zhuangzi first, and then let the Li family's people in Zhuangzi come forward. It seems like someone knows how much we produce. This is a good thing. I didn't want to sell it at first, but now I've decided to sell it. I'll sell it to anyone who wants to buy it. I'll let the housekeeper tell him that we don't need to harvest anymore. Let the people in Zhuangzi work on the mountain and leave the seeds for our own use. Zhang Xiaobao was running in a hurry, so his voice was intermittent. They were only a few dozen meters away from the courtyard. They would arrive soon. By the time Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan reached the door, the gatekeeper had already seen them from the balcony on the second floor. He hurriedly ran down and opened the door. His body flashed out as he vigilantly looked behind Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He shouted, "Little Gongzi, hurry up, I'll block them." "Why are you blocking it? No one chased us when we ran back. You thought Cuckoo and I were in danger. Why didn't you ring the bell?" Remember, no matter whether your judgment is accurate or not, ring the bell if you think there's danger. You should also come out to guard the courtyard every time. Make it a habit. Call the housekeeper. Zhang Xiaobao ran closer and saw the nervous expression on the gatekeeper's face. He was moved but also a little angry. The gatekeeper was not raised for nothing. He had a bell but didn't use it. The gatekeeper lowered his head and listened to the young master's words. He smiled and ran to find the housekeeper. After a while, Steward Zhang jogged over. When he saw Zhang Xiaobao, he asked respectfully, "Young master, what happened? I heard that you two ran back." Zhang Xiaobao waved his hand to indicate that he was really fine. He told Steward Zhang his plan. "Nothing. I just asked you to do something. Now it's good. It saves manpower." As Steward Zhang listened, his mouth opened and his eyes were fixed. When Zhang Xiaobao finished, he asked, "Young master, do you really want to do this? It's a bit too much. Just do it. Who are you tricking? It's just labor. People who work are the most lovable. Do you understand?" Before Zhang Xiaobao could speak, Wang Wan's voice interrupted. "Got it. I'll arrange it now. I'll let the people in the market know about it tonight, especially the place to buy food and drinks. Young master, my son has nothing to do today. Why don't he follow you?" Steward Zhang agreed and also promoted his son to Zhang Xiaobao. "How can he have nothing to do? Study well first. It'll be convenient for you to use in the future. Steward Zhang, your family has been the housekeeper of the Zhang family for generations. It won't be bad in the future." Zhang Xiaobao reassured Steward Zhang. "Got it, young master. I'm leaving." Steward Zhang was finally relieved after hearing Zhang Xiaobao's words. His son could continue to be the housekeeper in the future. It was the blessing of 8 lifetimes to be able to work for the young master. "Xiaobao, 100 copper coins per caddy of seeds is too expensive. The farmers usually keep the seeds for themselves. It's impossible for our seeds to grow as many as 4 dan per mu. The most important thing is to sterilize the seeds at the beginning, then throw the seedlings, good manure, and the wheat rice stones in the field." Wang Wan was a little worried after hearing Zhang Xiaobao's words. If they really did it this way, they would earn a little too much. According to the weight here, 1 dan of rice would be around 80 caddies. 2 Zhuangzi had more than 3,000 mu of land. On average, 1 dan of rice would yield 3 dan per mu, of which, rice would take up 2/5. If they calculated it carefully, they would earn 14,000 to 5,000 taels of silver. It was too frightening. The most important thing was that Zhang Xiaobao would sell it with the shell. Of course, if you don't sell it, people won't buy it with the shell. "I know what you're thinking. That's just a theory. Theories are usually used by swindlers to swindle people. How can we sell so much? With this price, how many fields can we plant with 1 gene of seeds? If we have a good harvest, won't we be able to earn more? Our seeds can yield 4 dan per mu." Zhang Xiaobao smiled and said to Wang Wan. He even winked at her. Wang Wan curled her lips. "Don't say this to me. Burning newspapers in the grave? Who are you trying to fool? Your place can yield 4 dan per mu. How can the grains produced be 4 dan per mu? If other places can produce so much, won't they be able to produce 6 dan per mu if they plant here? If it's that good, why would we still need hybrid rice? What if some of the seeds mutated? You can't deny that, right? Let's go. We'll go to the swimming pool at the back to take a bath. After a nap, we'll start studying. What should we study today? It seems like it's already spring and autumn. My head hurts. Zhang Xiaobao complained and walked to the swimming pool at the back. At this time, the temperature of the water was just right for him and Wang Wan to take a bath. This is nothing. I heard that we have to study the Book of Changes. But I know that when this thing came out, there was only one picture, which was the Xiantiane trigrams. Why didn't I see anything from it? Wang Wan also complained. The things that people learned in this era were too complicated. Now that you mention it, I think it's an alien civilization. Now that you mention it, I think it should be from an alien civilization. Look at the 8 diagrams, it's nothing more than broken and connected. If it's broken, it's a broken circuit, and if it's connected, it's a channel. If it's 2 connected, it's a direct current. If it's 3 connected, it's naturally 380 volts. If it's 1 connected, it's a broken circuit, and if it's 1 connected, it's a broken circuit, and if it's 1 connected, Zhang Xiaobao explained to Wang Wan seriously. Wang Wan laughed so hard that she held her stomach. Chapter 178. The market by the bridge finally opened at night. People who had been busy all day couldn't sleep and came to take a look. At this time of the year, most of the transactions in the market were done between the people who set up the stalls. The farmers didn't have that much time. Steward Zhang didn't go directly to the people in the market to discuss. Instead, he found Ergo and gave him the order. Ergo immediately went to carry it out. After dealing with Ergo's matter, Steward Zhang arranged for people to find the 12 people who came today. Soon, the news came back. The 12 people lived between the clouds and the water. Steward Zhang let out a sigh of relief. He led the doctors in Zhuangzi to ask if anyone was feeling unwell so that they could be treated in time. After Ergo received the order, he adjusted some of the prices in the market for the next few days. For example, tea could be casually thrown in something when drinking it. From today onwards, until the end of the autumn harvest, no matter who drank tea, it would be 50 copper coins a bowl. Small steamed buns that were a bit of meat would be 20 copper coins a bowl. It didn't matter if they couldn't sell it. When the market closed at night, the grocery store would make up the money they earned in a day. Food would be sold at the usual price. If others wanted to buy, they had to set the price. This was the benefit of having the right to set the price. Those who did business naturally wouldn't object. They would sell it however they wanted, as long as they didn't lose money. As for the poor commoners who came to buy things, they didn't care if they had more food or less tea. Wasn't it easy to eat? The grocery store had cheap pancakes and cool well water to drink. This didn't cost them money. Even Ergo didn't know the reason for this arrangement. He just needed to follow the instructions. He didn't need to worry about anything else. Between the clouds and the water, in a second-class courtyard, a few people sat together to discuss things after eating an extremely expensive dinner. Boss, don't you know an official in the capital? I heard he's a 6th-rank official. Why don't you ask him to come over and talk to him? We can buy back the grain here at a cheap price. When the time comes, we can grow our own. 1 mu of land can produce more than 4 dan of grain. Lai Zi stood at the side and advised his boss while burping. 2 people at the side also nodded and agreed with Lai Zi's idea. The boss's face was gloomy and he did not say anything. He had just heard the news that the Zhang family and the Wang family were selling seeds in Zhuangzi. It was 100 copper coins per catty, and that was including the shell. The price was extraordinarily high. However, when he thought about the grain harvest, it seemed that this amount of money could be taken out. However, if he really bought something at such a high price, others would think that he was a fool, and he would lose face. Just as he remained silent with a sullen expression, a person with squinting eyes beside him said, "What's the use of a sixth-rank official here? Just now, we purposely chose a seat on the first floor of the restaurant to eat. Could it be that you didn't hear what others said?" There were two zhuangzi, one was a seventh-ranked official, and the other was a seventh-ranked official. The saying that a high-ranking official can oppress a person to death refers to a subordinate. Not just anyone can do it. If you really oppress him, won't they impeach you? I just heard that these two officials were specially conferred by the imperial court. Two auspicious signs. One time, they helped the disaster relief in Hunan province. Not to mention that there are so many sixth-ranked officials in the capital, why don't you try changing to a third-ranked official? One will get one. Why? Lai Zi could not understand why a third-ranked official could not win against two seventh-ranked officials in Zhuangzi. Are you stupid? You came here to bargain. It's fine if you don't want to buy, but if you force it, people will say that you're betting on an auspicious place. If it's not an auspicious place, how can there be such high production? If it's not an auspicious sign, nothing will happen after the drought, and instead, it's an increase in production? If you bargain in a place with auspicious signs, it means that you want to suppress the imperial court's luck. If you don't say this out loud, everyone will know. If you say it out loud, it will become a report, and you will be beheaded. Is the neck of a third-ranked official stronger than the imperial court's luck? The provincial governor of this province is a prince. I heard from the people in the capital that the auspicious signs are because the current emperor and his brother have a blind date. Think about it, what is this? Beheading your whole family is a light punishment. Not exterminating your 9 generations is because the emperor is not good to his brother. So evil? Can't the little lousy Zhuangzi be moved? Lai Zi was a little disappointed. He did not expect that this Zhuangzi would need to consider so many things when he really wanted to deal with it. Why can't we deal with it this way? But we can use other methods. The person with squinted eyes said again. Lai Zi knew that this person was the master's think tank. When he heard that there was another method, he quickly said, "I know. I heard that there are 3 zhuangzi in the restaurant between the clouds and the water. Tomorrow, I will eat until I fall ill. At that time, hee hee, you only have this little ability. Why don't you try it tomorrow? If you fall ill from eating, will there be any trouble if you die from eating? Don't even think about it if you can't shake their foundation." That person sneered. He really looked down on this Lai Zi. If his sister was not close to the master, he would not want to do anything. The person next to Lai Zi pondered for a while and said, "Yes, it is useless to eat a dead person. Besides, Lai Zi can't die. We should think of a complete method. Why don't we help them spread the news that Zhuangzi of the Zhang family and Wang family is an auspicious place, and the things produced there are better than those around the capital? Then we can say a few words to make people believe that where there is auspicious, there will be an emperor." When he said this, the people around him thought that it was feasible. This would really kill the Zhang family and Wang family in Zhuangzi. Was it so easy to be an emperor? Even the master was a little tempted, but the person with squinted eyes shook his head again. If it was someone else who was the provincial governor, this method could be used. But Prince Li Chengyi definitely cannot be used. As long as the news spreads, Prince Li will come to the capital to ask for punishment. The current emperor can order people to investigate thoroughly. Who would say something like this? Isn't this sowing discord between brothers? Prince Li's place is going to have an emperor. That means Prince Li is going to be the emperor. Who would believe that a farmer can be the emperor? Ah, that won't do. How did Zhuangzi get a provincial governor? What else can we do? We can't really use 100 copper coins to buy a caddy of rice with husks, right? Lai Zi was the most impatient person among these people. When he heard that this idea was rejected, he said anxiously, "You shut up and listen to Brother Lu." The master was also vexed. Hearing Lai Zi's words, he was even more vexed. "Don't worry, master. There is still a way. Find a few people tomorrow and follow our method. When the time comes, I don't believe that the Zhang family and Wang family in Zhuangzi will not discuss with us." The person with squinted eyes laughed sinisterly and asked the few people who should not have heard this to leave. He told the remaining 3 people in the room the method. During the autumn harvest, the farmers were busy. The children were supposed to go to school, but with the return of Xiao Hong and cherries, the poultry had to be fed. The adults were busy, so they could only leave the work to the children. All the farmers who raised poultry had a lot of chickens, ducks, and geese. The children woke up early and released the poultry according to the layout of the manor. Then, they carried the empty bags and went to the main house to get the food that the poultry needed to eat for the day. Except for the fresh earthworms, the rest had already been ground by the main house. Each time they carried around 10 caddies, it was enough to go back and forth a few times. They did not need to spend money on these things. They were given by the master for free. They were also considered to be raising on behalf of the master. In the end, the accounts were settled. The master took 80% of the profits, and the farmer took 20%. This 20% was almost free. It was better than raising the chickens themselves. At least they did not need to take out food to feed them. The profits were not only from the eggs, but also from the money they earned from killing the chickens. The master even counted the chicken feathers, duck feathers, and goose feathers as part of the profits. The farmers did not know what the feathers of the poultry could be used to make money. Could it be that they could really make money by giving away the feathers that others did not want? Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were also thinking about this problem. They wanted to maximize all the profits. What can you do with half a caddy of chicken feathers? Zhang Xiaobao got up early in the morning and asked Wang Wan about this problem. Throw it away. Wang Wan answered very straightforwardly. What if I give you 10 caddies? Zhang Xiaobao asked again. Then I will continue to throw away the half a caddy. Wang Wan continued to give the same answer. What if I give you 10 tons of chicken feathers? Zhang Xiaobao asked again. Well, this thing can be used to make some materials, right? Also, it can be used to make down jackets. If not, it can be used to wholesale the feather dusters. I can't throw away so many of them. Wang Wan's answer this time was different from the previous one. There were too many things. When a seemingly useless thing reached a certain amount, it was impossible to continue to treat it as a useless thing, even if it was just stones and ashes. Zhang Xiaobao did not continue to ask this time. He pointed outside and said, We have more than 30,000 poultry in Zhuangzi. In the end, they will be killed, unless they are specifically asked to live. Otherwise, we will sell all the parts of the poultry and carry out a unified sale. We also have to complete the slaughter. With so many feathers, it should be more than 10,000 caddies. Besides, we will not kill them all directly. We will raise new ones while killing the old ones. The accumulated amount is not small. Now we have to think of a solution. What solution? It can't be to make down jackets, right? You have the chicken feathers, but what about other things? Usually, when you buy it in the market, if the quality is slightly lower, it will keep leaking. What is the material used to make down jackets? Cloth? We don't even have cotton cloth now. We only have silk and hemp. With the current weaving technology, how can we make the outer wrapping material? Don't dream about it. Wang Wan rejected the idea of making down jackets. It was fine to have cotton to make down jackets, but they did not have the technology to deal with feathers, let alone put them into clothes. Who said I want to make clothes? I can build a house with 2 layers of wood, or 2 layers of walls. In the middle, I can mix slaked lime and chicken feathers together. Then, I can use glue to stick the chicken feathers together in a certain order. I can even make a boat out of it. When the time comes, all the boats in Little Luo Shui will be made with these feathers. When others see them, they will naturally want to learn. We will sell the chicken feathers to them. How about it? There are only things that you can't think of, but there is nothing that can't be done. Zhang Xiaobao told Wang Wan about the future. Chapter 179. Wang Wan really didn't expect that Zhang Xiaobao would use the feathers of poultry for this matter. She really couldn't guess how Zhang Xiaobao's brain grew. Almost all impossible things were not a problem for him. Can it really be used to make a boat? That's really good. At least if I were to choose by the lake, I would choose this kind of craft with strong craftsmanship. But why didn't anyone do this in my hometown? Are they stupid? When Wang Wan agreed with Zhang Xiaobao, she suddenly realized that if they really wanted to make a boat, why didn't the people at that time do it? They are stupid if they do it. How much does a down jacket cost? How much does some feed made from poultry's feathers cost? How much does an ordinary boat cost? Who would make so many poultry's feathers into a boat? In the past, you could always see big geese boats made of plastic by the river. The cost was only about 400 yuan. If you buy it, you can buy it even if it costs more than 1,000 yuan. If you use a little bit of good materials, you can definitely buy it for 1,500 yuan. How much does it cost to use poultry's feathers? If you want to use glue to densely stick the feathers together, the cost of labor and materials is much higher than that of the geese boat. Whoever makes it is stupid. What's more, the feathers of poultry have a shelf life. Zhang Xiaobao felt that Wang Wan's usual life was too monotonous, so he explained the boat to her. Wang Wan nodded. I see. Those boats are made of plastic. No wonder they are hard when you knock them. Not all of them. Plastic is still expensive. There is a cheaper thing called glass wire, which is made of this thing. Only the sealed bearing below is a little expensive. The other things are worthless. Those things should be inorganic. The decomposition process is long, unlike the feathers of poultry, which will spoil after a period of time. Zhang Xiaobao continued to explain to Wang Wan. Wang Wan frowned and asked, So what you mean is, we use these poultry's feathers to make boats and let them play on them. But how big can you make them? They have big flower boats. It's not big. It's 1 meter long, half a meter wide, and 1 meter tall. It's not for people to scratch. It's for fun. Do you know what fun is? Now that there is a water wheel, we can find a place with water in the artificial lake. If there is no water, we can use manpower to move the water wheel and bring the water to a high place. Then, set up a large rack that looks like a slide and let the water flow down from the top. When it reaches the bottom, make a slight upward curve. You sit in the boat and tie a wooden block to your body. When the time comes, slide down from the top and see who can fly the farthest. It can also be like the thing in the torrential current, can't it? Wang Wan continued. No, I don't dare to do that. Without the skills, people will die. But we can use that kind of small boat to fight water battles. It's light and easy to turn around. We just need to add a few water guns on it. You know how water guns work, right? They rely on pressure. It doesn't matter if the seal is a little bad. Hurry up and tell me, what else have you not taken out? Do you think I will believe that an international swindler can only think of such things? Construction, shipbuilding, selling poultry feathers, there are only 3 of them in total. Even if you do animal feed, there are only 4 of them. But these 4 are all basic things. Is that possible? Zhang Xiaobao, do you think I'm stupid or you are? Tell me quickly. Wang Wan already believed him. When she nodded in agreement, she suddenly felt that something was wrong. Zhang Xiaobao's actions were all closely linked. It couldn't be that simple. She almost fell for his trick. No, really. That's all. Look at my eyes. How pure they are. Zhang Xiaobao turned his head and blinked his big eyes for Wang Wan to see. Wang Wan suddenly smiled and blinked her eyes. Look at mine. Aren't they also very pure? Tell me the truth, Zhang Xiaobao. Why don't you sleep on the floor tonight? Your eyes are pure. Even a lie detector can't detect it. You are proficient in several kinds of psychology and can even hypnotize yourself. Are you going to tell me or not? I will crush your thing down there. You only know how to do this. You scared me in the past. Do you think I am afraid? Let me tell you. I already said I will tell you. Don't stretch your hands. There is another characteristic of poultry feathers. When it is exposed to the sun, it will attract a lot of flies. I don't want to get maggots. I just need to use big sauce. You have to think about it. That Li Sun, after he gets someone to deal with the survival and reconnaissance tasks in the next 2 to 3 months, we need to get him a fish job to do, and at the same time, sell him some soybean oil and eggs. But do you think he will be satisfied? Even if he is satisfied, will his other brothers be satisfied? I have to plan first. If they don't come looking for me, I won't say anything. If they really come looking for me, I have to arrange something for them to do. What is the best thing? Now we have been at war with the surrounding areas. There are not many big ones. I heard that the people sent by the imperial court failed last time. What about in the future? Small frictions will never stop. I will use the feathers of the poultry to let the flies bite them. At that time, bacteria will breed. All kinds of bacteria. Think about it, in that kind of environment, how many bacteria will be on the feathers of the poultry? In addition to this, we also raise pigs in Zhuangzi. I will get some other cattle and sheep's hair. It will be best if it has blood. I will put it under the sun together. When the bacteria accumulates, I will put it in the grassland tribes or other neighboring countries. Do you think the immunity of their livestock will be strong enough to prevent the bacteria from entering? I really don't want to tell you this now. It's too amazing. Zhang Xiaobao, you really shouldn't be a swindler. You should enter our country's think tank and be a schemer. How many people will your kind of thing harm? What if it spreads to our side? Wang Wan moved Zhang Xiaobao's head to face her and looked at it carefully. She seemed to be talking to herself. Zhang Xiaobao tapped Wang Wan's nose and said, "Are you stupid enough to put it on the border? Won't you transport it to the center of their country in the name of all kinds of things? Wait for them to have a disaster, then we will refuse to buy any of their livestock and scatter a lot of lime on the border. Maybe the two of us can't do it, but those brothers of Li Sun will definitely find a way to do it. I just think that it's against the natural order. Tomorrow I will go and prepare the 7-star lantern. Help me find oil. I will use it to light the lantern. Let's see who can put it out for me. I really don't know what to say about you. You are good. You can exchange yourself for the safety of a child. I believe that the child and his parents will still be grateful to you and think that you are a good person even if they know that you are an international swindler. You are bad. You are really bad. You don't even blink when you kill people. Many people have died in your hands, right? According to the law, you can be executed 10 times less than that. You have always measured the life and death of others according to your own standards. You are a person who will stab a knife into another person's chest when you smile at a child. Can you tell me what your standards are? Wang Wan looked at Zhang Xiaobao with a complicated gaze and asked, "What standards? Does Confucius have standards? People don't treat him well. Didn't he also say that only villains and women are difficult to deal with? The standards of the strong are mood, and the standards of the weak are hope. Don't analyze me. I don't even know what kind of person I am. How can others judge me? Let's go outside and take a look." As Zhang Xiaobao spoke, he put an arm in front of his waist and nodded to Wang Wan. Wei Wei turned sideways. Wang Wan smiled and put her hand into the hole formed by Zhang Xiaobao's arm. She gently squatted down and the two of them walked outside in this posture. The weather outside was just as the villagers expected. It was still so hot, and there was no sign of rain. The villagers would rather have their clothes wet with sweat than have a drop of rain fall. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, one in front and one in front, pedaled their relatively advanced car out of the house. They followed the road on Zhuangzi and headed towards the small bridge. "Xiaobao, are we still letting the village children catch grasshoppers this year?" The autumn harvest has already delayed their learning time. Wang Wan was still in front, controlling the direction. While pedaling, she asked Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao knew that Wang Wan always had a desire to rule. Even when she was pedaling, she had to control the direction. It was fortunate that such a person wasn't with Wu Zetian, and it was also fortunate that he followed her. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be able to find someone to suppress her. Oh, it was he who dragged her along. After a while, Wang Wan realized that Zhang Xiaobao didn't say anything, so she asked, "Say something, Xiaobao. Are we catching grasshoppers or not? I still want to eat them. The protein content of those things is higher than what we usually eat. It's like a cocoon. They have to eat it in order to survive. Yes, we have to catch the children of Zhuangzi. We have to catch the children of other Zhuangzi as well. We have to catch the children of the Gu family, the Zhuangzi family, and that Han Yongyao's children on Zhuangzi. We have to use things to trade. 100 grasshoppers for an egg. Forget it, 50 grasshoppers for an egg, 100 grasshoppers for a duck egg, and 150 grasshoppers for a goose egg. Once that Han Yongyao knows that we are trading like this, he will definitely stop the children on Zhuangzi. When that time comes, I will make him lose the hearts of the people while we can gain the hearts of the other Zhuangzi children. This trade is not a loss at all, whether it's the nutritional value or feeding the animals." Zhang Xiaobao instantly had a plan. Harvest grain. Harvest old grain. 4 copper coins for a bushel of millet, 7 copper coins for a bushel of rice, 6 copper coins for a bushel of noodles. Harvest grain. Harvest old grain. Just as Zhang Xiaobao finished speaking, a shout came from the other side. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan both frowned. This kind of thing was too rare. It definitely wasn't that simple. Chapter 180. I hurried into the forest. The forest was in clusters: Sol, Du, Dor, Missile, Lop Sol, Mi, Mirer, Du, Lopsola, Du. Wang Wan was walking alone. No, she was walking with Zhang Xiaobao on a small road in the countryside. When she heard the sound of people buying old grain, she was puzzled for a moment. Then, she let go of her emotions and sang with a jump. "I thought you could sing Xiao Hong Mao. That song is more ancient. I didn't expect you to sing something equally ancient. It's about 100 years old, right? No wonder you can't remember the lyrics. No matter how you sing, people will still come to collect grain." Zhang Xiaobao's eyes were fixed on the people who came to collect the grain. He didn't get close to them. He didn't know what they were going to do, so he said something to Wang Wan, who was singing an ancient song. "How long has it been for 100 years? The Spring River Moonlight has been played for thousands of years. Isn't there still someone playing it? I used to have a teacher downstairs who specialized in teaching people the guzheng. As long as I was at home, I could hear this song coming from downstairs. There were many students, but the Spring River is still the same. I suspect that she only knows how to play this song and teach it to others." Wang Wan didn't feel that she was outdated at all. She thought that a classic was a classic. Zhang Xiaobao picked up a leaf that had fallen to the ground. He rubbed the handle with his fingers to make the leaf turn. Then, he looked at the small river beside him and said, "Are you talking about the Spring River Moonlight Night by Zhang Ruoxu? I heard that it was really good." "It's not bad, but it's not the Spring River Moonlight Night. If it's really good, he can rhyme all the way to the end. In my opinion, it's just a song. Isn't it just a couplet? According to modern poetry, it's barely a couplet. How can a couplet compare to a couplet? He wants to cover the whole Tang? Does it count as something that others have done before? For example, the Xuanji Shi Tuesday. He can't even answer the palindrome. How can he cover a dynasty? I just don't like those critics." Wang Wan scoffed at this. Ever since she was a child, she had studied poetry. She would only admit that a certain poem was better, but she absolutely did not agree that any one poem could represent an era. "What time is it that the moon can be seen by the riverside? Bamboo cane and straw shoes are light over horses. Dark night gave me a pair of black eyes. Summer insects are silent for me. Even midstream hits the water. That's just flattery." She was such a person. Arrogant. Geniuses were all arrogant. That's not good. You have to admit what you have to admit. He did write it. "If you have the ability, write one yourself," Zhang Xiaobao advised. "Tisk, Could it be that the air conditioner in my house is no longer working? Do I need to know how to cool things? I can't talk about it. That's two different things. You're looking at a poem. Forget it, let's not talk about that. Anyway, I think this poem is pretty good, especially that line, "Which family is rowing tonight? Where is the lovesickness bright moon hotel?" I quite like it. Zhang Xiaobao indeed did not know much about poetry. As long as Wang Wan mentioned such things, it could be said that she could speak freely. However, he did not want Wang Wan to be too arrogant. A tree that stands out in the forest will be destroyed by the wind. A pile of sand on the shore will be swept away by the current. Those who are above others will be criticized by the masses. He still understood these. I'm not afraid. I know what you are worried about. But didn't Gorky say before? Let the storm blow away others. Wang Wan replied with a smile. He said that. It seems like my hard work in studying back then was for nothing. I actually don't know such profound things. Isn't this the same as wearing someone else's shoes and letting the person who lost it find it? Zhang Xiaobao finally caught up with Wang Wan's train of thought. Wang Wan pulled on Zhang Xiaobao's arm and laughed. Xiaobao, I just realized that you are really too interesting. Come, let's continue talking about that poem. Don't frown. Don't you want to take part in the imperial examinations in the future? If you don't know this, could it be that you want to take other examinations and not take the Xiuzai examination? Listen to me. Just casually take out a line from Li Bai. For example, since ancient times, all things flow to the east. Yes, I admit that this is a bit like the spring water flowing to the east. Li, you didn't write anything, but the things he bore were far from being comparable to all things. But there's still Xiao Bai. The world lasts forever. Sai, who do you think you wish for? Wish for Li Longji? Wish for Yang Yuhuan? As Wang Wan spoke, she became sad. Such a beautiful thing was actually gone. Just like the Kaiyuan era, for the long river of history, it came and went quickly. Zhang Xiaobao didn't have a girlfriend. His whole life, he worked hard to help the dean realize his dream. He simply couldn't understand what was wrong with Wang Wan. Cuckoo, he's with us now. If you're afraid that the future won't be good, didn't we agree to find a way to kill those 4 people? We'll let this pair of jade-like people be together forever. But we can protect them for a while, but can we protect them forever? Wang Wan was still thinking about the longevity hall on the 7th of July, when they whispered in the middle of the night when no one was around. Why do we have to protect them forever? We worked hard to leave behind an honor for the future generations. As for what they want to do, it's up to them. They can't complain about ancestors like us, right? I've never complained. I don't have parents who love me, but I'm willing to be a parent who loves others. Unfortunately, I've always been a liar and didn't do a good job. Now that I'm here, I don't have my own children. How do you think we should educate our children in the future? Zhang Xiaobao was led astray by Wang Wan, or rather, he led Wang Wan's train of thought astray. Anyway, it was astray. Wang Wan looked at Zhang Xiaobao again and said with a smile, I didn't expect you to have such a backbone. Many people complain that their parents didn't give them a good family, but you want to give your children a good family. Then, Zhang Xiaobao, I'll allow you to start pursuing me. As for what happens in the future, it'll depend on the strength of your pursuit. Are you talking about having children in the future? Zhang Xiaobao asked. Can you not be so shallow? Wang Wan replied. Then you should be talking about the inheritance of life, right? Great love, infinite tolerance, all for the sake of humanity, and to light that lamp with me. Zhang Xiaobao had no choice but to change the way he said it. Glib tongue, international swindlers, none of them are good. Wang Wan felt that Zhang Xiaobao was becoming more and more interesting. If one said that he was smart, then it was not a problem for him to scheme against others. If one said that he was stupid, then he did not know how to please a girl. He didn't make a vow of eternal love like other people. It was as if he believed that she had to live with him since she came here with him. After such a long time, He didn't even prepare a candlelight dinner. Other than putting delicious food on the plate while eating, he stood in front of the goose when it attacked. He didn't know how to please girls at all. Others were smart enough to send flowers every day. He just often covered himself with a quilt. In the beginning, many young girls didn't come into contact with him for romance, but for his money. Just like a song from 100 years ago, zither, chess, calligraphy, painting, poetry, wine, and flowers, they were all inseparable. Now, everything has changed. Daily necessities, rice, oil, salt, soy sauce, vinegar, and tea. Say something. In the beginning, many people said that I had a realm, and that I was a good person. Zhang Xiaobao waited for a while, and found that Wang Wan didn't say anything after saying one sentence, so he continued to ask. Of course you're a good person. If it was in the past, I would also say that. As for the realm, do you know what the realm is? Wang Wan suddenly felt very happy. Zhang Xiaobao cheated so much money, but he didn't cheat any women. In terms of feelings, he must be the kind of person who was cheated. I know the realm. It's 30% lies and 70% truth. I used to do that. Otherwise, where would I get so much money? Zhang Xiaobao still had some feelings about this matter. Wang Wan laughed again. What kind of realm is that? The real realm is divided into levels. The first level is called the clothes gradually loosening, but one does not regret. The second level is, last night the west wind withered the green trees, alone in the tall building, looking at the end of the world. The third level is what people often say, looking for the person thousands of times in the crowd, but the person is in the waning light. These are the 3 poems, right? I've heard people say that they're messy and deliberately mystifying. Zhang Xiaobao really heard people say this before. Then it's simple. Seeing the mountain is a mountain, seeing the water is water, seeing the mountain is not a mountain, seeing the water is not water, seeing the mountain is a mountain, seeing the water is water, I understand. So this is what they were thinking. Little brat, their realms are still too low, only at the beginning of seeing the mountain is a mountain. I'll let them know what it means to see the mountain is not a mountain. Zhang Xiaobao clapped his hands and said happily. Xiaobao, what are you talking about? Who saw the mountain is a mountain? Wang Wan found that Zhang Xiaobao's expression was a little strange. They are just people who collect old grain. If you didn't mention this realm, I wouldn't have thought of it. Now I understand. These people always think that they are very smart, but don't they think that seeds are expensive? Why do they have to do this? Do you think that they can take advantage of us after tricking us once? Zhang Xiaobao said to the people who were driving the cart and shouting that they wanted to collect grain. You're saying that this grain collector is together with the people we saw coming to buy seeds? Wang Wan really didn't expect this. She just felt that this matter was a little strange. Zhang Xiaobao nodded. I didn't think of it at first, but when you mentioned realms, I realized that their realms are still a little low. This is called seeing the mountain as the mountain and coming up with an idea. They don't know how to properly train the people who come here. They are so brazen. I don't know if they are looking down on themselves or others. Wait for them to go back and sell the grain, the old ones. Really sell? 4 copper coins for a bushel of millet, 7 copper coins for a bushel of rice, and 6 copper coins for a bushel of flour. The price they charge is indeed a little high. Wang Wan looked again at the people who came to collect grain and shook her head helplessly. She felt sad for them in her heart. Zhang Xiaobao pulled Wang Wan back and said while walking, It's not this price. Increase the price by 1 copper coin for each grain. We also have to change the trading location. Change to the pier of the little Luo Shui River. Tell them that we have a lot of stock and there are mountains and water there. It's really seeing the mountain is not a mountain, seeing the water is not water. Chapter 181. As Wang Wan walked, she turned around to look at the people who were going to collect the grains. She smacked her lips but didn't say anything. She could only sigh in her heart. These people really didn't know what was good for them. The railings of the small bridge had already been carved with the image of a bull's head and a horse's face. She had personally carved it, but it was a little shallow. If one didn't pay attention, they wouldn't be able to see it. It was to tell the people who had designs on the big Zhang family and Wang family to never cross the bridge. It was a line between heaven and hell. How many people had fallen into it? Did they really think that international swindlers were decorations? Sai, who knew what the consequences would be this time. The person who collected the soybeans was still in jail. As soon as Zhang Xiaobao returned to the courtyard, he found Steward Zhang and gave him a few instructions on how to sell the grains. After Steward Zhang left, he found Song Jinggong, who was resting in the courtyard, and gave him a few more instructions. After Song Jinggong also went to make the arrangements, he was finally relieved. Cuckoo, let's go to between the clouds and the water to eat good food. Help me get some MSG and 13 spices. I've thought about it. After the autumn harvest, or later, I'll get little Luo Shui to organize an activity. I'll ask those scholars to go to the fields there and experience the scenery. Zhang Xiaobao gave the instructions and took out 2 big bags from the room. He handed one to Wang Wan and said to her, "What are you up to now?" Wang Wan didn't believe that Zhang Xiaobao would be so kind. "This time, I really don't want to harm anyone. I'm just organizing an activity. It's the autumn harvest. Is there anything wrong with having some fun together?" Zhang Xiaobao felt that Wang Wan didn't understand him. He had a wronged expression on his face. Wang Wan looked at Zhang Xiaobao carefully. "That's right. If it was someone else who said this, I would believe it. Unless the sun rises from the west. What's the big deal about the west? You can run to the 2 poles. When it's daytime, the sun won't set for the entire day. I've done my calculations. That would be the time when the moon is full. I've thought it through. I'll say, the moon is the full circle of one's homeland. Where is the grain full? Regardless of whether it's a local scholar or an outsider, they'll all be filled with emotions." Zhang Xiaobao even made use of the autumn harvest. It seemed that he would not miss out on anything that could be used. When Wang Wan heard this suggestion, she nodded and asked, "What about the prize? You want me to go sightseeing? You should at least give me something decent when I write a poem, right?" "Is there a need to ask?" "Of course, it's the seeds here. If they want to eat it, they can eat it. If they want to plant it, they can plant it. As long as they write a poem, no matter how they write it, they can get 10 pounds of seeds. They can plant it, eat it, or keep it." "Alright, I just thought of something fun." "What is it?" "Seeds. Rice seeds can be planted, and so can grass seeds. Back then, I remember that there were people who specialized in selling dolls with sawdust and grass seeds. As long as they were watered, they would grow into green seedlings." When Zhang Xiaobao mentioned seeds, he thought of that thing. It was not expensive, and many people were willing to buy it. They wanted to see the seeds grow day by day. When they were carefully cared for, it was actually because of hope. It was just like how many adults treated their children. When walking, if they realized that there were children in front of them learning to run, they would have to give way. This was not just a matter of strength or weakness, but also a similar kind of hope for the children. If a child in his 20s kicked the ball, the adults would be angry. If a child in his or her 20s kicked the ball, the adults would not feel any anger. They would even be able to return the ball. Of course, those who deliberately drove fast in front of the school grounds and stabbed the children because they could not beat the adults were exceptions. Or it could be said that such people were no longer considered human. Wang Wan did not know that Zhang Xiaobao had thought so much in this short period of time. She felt that this suggestion was not bad and asked, "Does it mean that we can earn money again?" "No, this money should not be earned by us. It is easy for others to copy, so the profit is not too big. I plan to leave it for those who come to find trouble in the future, especially those whose families are more powerful. Giving them a business deal can reduce the resistance. I just want to mention it. Help me write it down. It will be useful at critical times. Oh, it seems that it is not easy to develop. We have to leave something for others. This shows that the legal system is not perfect. There will always be a privileged class. Wealth and silk move people's hearts. Look at the world. Which powerful person has all the shares in his or her hands? No one. Those who do can only wait to be constantly schemed against. In the end, they will become weak or collapse. Zhang Xiaobao said a sentence about the world, or the essence of the human circle of survival. Wang Wan thought for a moment and said in agreement, "Indeed, whether it is an official or a businessman, as long as you are in contact with people, you have to know how to give and take. Let's go to the restaurant and have a look. There seems to be a new dish today, braised foie gras. There were so many poultry when we went, but there were fewer when we came back. Some of them could not hold on and died on the way back. Well, this foie gras is edible. It is not the kind of goose that is specially fed with liver disease. Some of the chickens also died, right? It is not an infectious disease. Take out the chicken liver and sauce it for the children on Zhuangzi to eat. It is good food." As Zhang Xiaobao spoke, he slung the bag over his shoulder and took the lead to walk outside. Wang Wan followed behind. Thinking about what Zhang Xiaobao had just said, she asked, "Xiaobao, didn't you say that they belong to the first realm? Then you must have seen what they are going to do next." "What else can they do? They collect the old grain, get new grain from other places, and exchange it with our farmers for grain that could have been used as seeds. The exchange rate is 2 to 1, 3 to 1, which is several times cheaper than 100 copper coins for a caddy. Or they can spread the news that this year's high-yield grain can't be eaten. During a disaster, high-yield grain is against the laws of nature. If it were me, I would at least be able to come up with these two methods immediately." *********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** and the streams flowed like silk. They shouted that there were 10,000 stones for old rice, and they were not afraid that Lu Yuan would be busy collecting grain. Steward Zhang came into contact with those people who collected grain. They said that there was a lot of old grain at home, and they insisted on raising the price by 1 copper coin before selling it. After some bargaining, the other party said that they would not budge. Steward Zhang had no choice but to tell Zhang Xiaobao about this matter. When Steward Zhang found Zhang Xiaobao, Song Jinggong was also talking next to them. After hearing about the matter between the two of them, Zhang Xiaobao laughed. "What are you laughing at? There seems to be something wrong. Young Master Song, when you go out to collect old grain, it's only half the price they collect. Is there a connection between the two of them?" When Wang Wan heard the conversation between the two of them, she felt that there was something wrong with it. "Do you still remember that soybean collector? This is a powerful person. Unless they don't move, as long as they move, we can see how capable they are. They are digging a hole for us to jump into. We have really underestimated them. Young Master Song, don't be in a hurry to collect old grain from the grain stores around here. Just ask the local farmers and tell them that we are willing to buy their old grain at a 2-to-3 ratio. We will take 3 sets of old grain and give them 2 sets of new grain. Arrange for people to buy new grain. No matter how much the price rises, as long as it is not more than 2 times the price, buy it all." Zhang Xiaobao touched his face with his finger and gave the order to Song Jinggong. Then he said to Steward Zhang, "Steward Zhang, transport all the old grain to Little Luo Shui and sell it according to the price they offer. If they want to play big, we will play with them this time. Don't sell the seeds first. Let's see if it rains in the next few days. If it rains, we will collect them ourselves. It will only delay the matters on the mountain. If it doesn't rain, just leave them in the fields." Song Jinggong and Steward Zhang did not understand why the young master was doing this. According to this method, the Zhuangzi would obviously lose money. However, when they thought of the young master's methods, they knew that he would not do such a stupid thing. Thus, they obeyed the order. After the two of them left, Wang Wan asked in confusion, "Xiaobao, what are you thinking? If we do this, we will lose money." "Who said so? This time, not only do we want to make money, we also want to use 2 strategies." Zhang Xiaobao replied confidently. "What strategies?" "Driving the wolf to devour the tiger and using someone else to do the dirty work." I want to announce to all those who want to attack the Zhang family and Wang family that Xiao Qiao is not so easy to cross. 2 days later, the sky was still so clear. Song Jinggong had already bought a lot of new grain from outside. Fortunately, Zhang Xiaobao was now rich, so it was easy for him to pay. He began to trade with the local farmers for 6,000 dan of new grain. In the end, he was able to exchange for 9,000 dan of old grain. The price of the new grain had indeed doubled. The person who bought the grain had also signed a contract with Steward Zhang and specifically found a middleman. Elsewhere, the autumn harvest was not over yet. As expected, God opened his eyes and it did not rain. The farmers felt the high temperature and rejoiced in their hearts. Song Jinggong's purchasing speed was very fast. 1 day later, more than 5,000 dan of grain had been transported to the dock of the little Luoshui River. Steward Zhang did not sell the grain according to the young master's instructions. Instead, he continued to wait for the 9,000 dan of grain to arrive. The owner was still living in between the clouds and the water with 11 other people. When he heard the news, he specially found a large room on the second floor and ordered a lot of good dishes to celebrate. Brother Lu is really calculating. He actually knew that they would buy new grain to exchange for old grain. But I don't understand, why? The owner smiled and said to the think tank next to him. Owner, the other side is also very capable. They know that we are dealing with their seeds. They did this to let us know the difficulties and retreat. As long as the price of the seeds is fixed, they will not lose money. At that time, the money spent on new grain can be earned back several times from the seeds. Unfortunately, they calculated wrong. We still have a backup plan. The think tank surnamed Lu replied to the owner with a confident look on his face. Yes. Brother Lu is right. This time, we will let them know how powerful we are. If they dare to not listen to us, they can forget about selling even a single seed. Lai Zi did not know the specific situation at all and flattered at the side. Then, when will Brother Lu make the move? The owner asked again. The moment we buy the old grain is the moment we make the move. The think tank surnamed Lu smiled sinisterly. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.